Got enough of every melody, they all sound the same. Yeah. For my broken heart, no remedy, but maybe if you stay, we can get away with it. 'Cause you make me love my imperfections, answer all my questions, just to show me what's on the other side of inhibition. No apologies, my baby. How do you do? 'Cause I'm feeling so good. Ooh. How do you do? 'Cause I'm feeling so good. Ooh. Oh, my darkest memories, now let me fall back. But you'll be there, ready to rescue me if I go out of track. We can get away with it. 'Cause you make me love my imperfections, answer all my questions, just to show me what's on the other side of inhibition.
Hello everybody, what's going on, guys? Hello. We are live and we are here and we're doing another TacoCast. We are here live with all my beautiful friends, Chadley, Corey. We have Curly as one of our guests. Mama Remy is back, and our beautiful, handsome friend here, Sideline. How are you guys doing today? How's it going? Welcome.
Good. Good.
Yo, what up?
Thanks for having us.
Good.
Of course, always. I always enjoy when you guys come. Guys, lots has happened over the month. It felt a little slow on gaming, and then we were slapped in the face by Curly, and he's like, "Hey, by the way, there's this," and then we remember.
So quiet, so slow. You're fool. Fools.
So it was good to get reminded about all these crazy things. And also, like, last minute, we got hit with some crazy news over on Sony's side, and it's just been like mic drops left, right, and center this whole month. So it's been really good. I'm very excited. But before we can start on talking about the news, let us talk about our channels. Chadley, what is new and exciting? What's happening on your channel? What have you been up to? Tell me.
Just been, gaming maybe. I don't know. Maybe one of that weird thing called gaming, but
Is that what we do?
I think that's what we do. We try. No, but I started playing Ghostbusters, the video game.
Ooh.
So that I've heard the game is really short, so I feel like it's not going to last very long, but I'm enjoying it so far. It's just cool to have to be able to hear the actual actors' voices with the original Ghostbusters cast and everything. And supposedly the game is kind of loosely tied to a script that was written for the third movie that never happened. So it's kind of cool, like, to play the game and realize that it could have been the third movie. So, but I'm enjoying it so far. It's just a pretty cool game.
Nice. Mama Remy, I want to know, what have you been up to? What's going on your channel?
I'm stuck shiny hunting the same flippin' Pokemon for
I
11
noticed.
streams now. I have over 1,900 eggs on a single Pokemon. I know a lot of other people are like, "Oh, that's nothing," but it's driving me crazy. We started Animal Crossing. I started about a week late, and then had to take a rather long break, and then I picked up Minecraft Dungeons, so that's gonna be on the channel soon too.
Nice.
Other than that, it's probably about the same old stuff.
Sideline, what's going on with you, buddy? What's new and exciting on your channel?
Not too much. I had to cut down my stream schedule significantly because of work and everything the last couple months, but doing some regular Smash Brothers tournaments on weekends now, like casual arenas. Also getting into some Pro Controller and Joy-Con repair streams as well.
There we go. We're moving up in the world.
Yeah.
Curly, what about you, buddy? What have you been up to?
Oh man, this and that. mostly been working on some music stuff. I do like music videos and stuff like that, but man, a lot of work going into that. We've been finally catching back up and getting a consistent schedule with our podcast that we do on that side, which is way less organized than this. But it's less new stuff, more of like arguing over Pop-Tarts.
I think that's perfect. I was there the other night.
Recently, I started playing this very small game called just Minecraft for the first time, so that was fun. And also, I beat a game last night called Just Shapes and Beats with my daughter, and that game is dope, dude. The music's incredible. However, I woke up this morning and got like 20 emails, like all copyright claims, just straight up all down my email list. Just claims, but nothing crazy.
What can happen, right?
That
can happen.
Other than that, man, just trying to get a good schedule going, which has been like 2-3 years now trying to do that, but you know how it goes.
No, for sure. What about you, Corey? What have you been up to, my friend?
You know, same old. I was doing some Animal Crossing. I think I've kind of moved from that a little bit, and now I'm doing Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, and also that little game Minecraft Dungeons as well. Been kind of hopping back and forth between doing those.
Nice.
Not a whole lot much else. Much like Sideline, I've had to slow down a little bit on my streams and all. With my work has been kind of crazy lately.
Yeah,
But
for
it's
sure.
okay.
For sure. Yeah, myself, I've been trying to get my schedule back, but it's been really difficult. Like, just it's gotten really difficult at work at night. Coming home 4 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning. So I sometimes wake up and I'm like, oh, it's already 1 o'clock. Well, I guess I'm not streaming. But and then
You've been
unfortunately,
busy over on TikTok though.
What's that?
You've been busy over on TikTok though.
I stopped posting because again I got busy at work. But yeah, I was posting a lot of work stuff. It was awesome. I was having fun with that. Then we got some sad news, and I had to take a little bit of time. And then we got hit again with some more sad news. So yeah, I've been trying, but it's been very difficult to get back up there. I'm trying to get the schedule to start working again, but it happens, right? It happens.
Yeah.
All right, my friends. Well, let's get down into it because there's some great stuff to talk about. So, with all of us in isolation and Nintendo and all those companies in isolation, Nintendo has announced that they're having trouble doing Nintendo Directs. So just pay attention to the internet, and basically, if someone is releasing something, just to say it. So they came out and announced on Twitter that they are releasing Paper Mario, the Origami King, for the Nintendo Switch, and that was a big drop. Everybody was very excited. We got an awesome trailer. So are you excited for it, and will you be getting the game? Have you played any of the other Paper Mario? So let's go ahead and start with Curly.
Yeah, dude. Game looks amazing. It's fascinating how they're rolling out their information. Just the fact that they're like, man, it's hard to do directs, and bam, just Twitter drop. It's just like, what the? Whoa, okay, calm down. But the game looks incredible. I've never played a single Paper Mario game, which hurts me to even say out loud, because like Mario is like my bread and butter. It's just I want to, But I've never played a single one, so I don't know if I want to get it straight out of the gate or if I want to go back and play. I mean, I've heard, great things about Thousand Year Door and just the original and stuff, but I mean, I heard that later on in the series it kind of takes a dip. But I've recently been watching a couple friends play through Color Splash, and that game looks dope, dude. I don't know what people's issues are with it. I don't get it. But again, I haven't played through a single one, but absolutely, yes, I'm excited. I mean, the humor seems right up my alley. The gameplay looks amazing. And of course, Nintendo bringing it home with that art style, man. It looks super good.
Oh, for sure, for sure. What about you, Sideline?
I am super excited for the Origami King to come out. I'm probably going to own it the day it comes out. I've only played the first two, which were, I think, Thousand Year Door and whatever the name of the one was for the Wii. I played that one too. I love those games. I love the fighting mechanic and like the 3D like hidden aspect of things where you'd have to go into different the paper mode to find certain things. So I'm super excited. Can't wait for it.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Remy, what about you, hon?
I think Curly and I've got to run because I've never played a single Paper Mario before.
There we go.
But in my defense, I didn't have the consoles for those games. I know it was on the Nintendo Q or GameCube, and then it was on the 64, I think.
Yeah.
Possibly. Okay. The
And then
only games I had on the 64 were the 2 Zelda titles and the 2 Pokemon Stadium titles. So, and then it got like put up because we were in a non-gamer household after that.
Oh, jeez.
So gaming was looked down upon. So we didn't really play those type of games except for I found PC gaming then. So I missed out on all those, but it does look really cute. I know a lot of people think that I would like it, knowing like the other games that I like. So I might be looking into it. Actually, really haven't watched the trailer either. What the pictures they have seen,
You had me in the
like, in
first
my
half.
defense,
You
I've
had me.
been really kind of like occupied with things, so I'm just now getting back into like gaming news and everything gaming. So I'm
Yeah.
a little behind the times, but let me catch up, guys. I will.
Oh, man. Corey, what about you, my friend?
I am super excited. I absolutely love all things Paper Mario, except I didn't really care for Sticker Star all that much. But I have played and beaten almost all of the Paper Mario games, and so this one, like, really, I was really excited when they dropped this out of nowhere. It was like 8 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, "Oh my god!" They just dropped a freaking trailer for Paper Mario. It looks really good. It seems to be sticking with that same art style and everything, and so I'm really excited overall.
For sure, for sure. Chadley, what about you, my friend?
Yeah, I mean, the trailer looks really good. I've only played one of the Paper Mario games. That was Super Paper Mario, which was the one on the Wii.
Mm-hmm.
Which, to be fair, is probably the one that diverts from the series the most because it's more of a platformer than it is an RPG. Of the traditional fighting style of the other games. But I mean, I loved that one. I love the art style of the whole, like, the cartoonish looking aspect of it and everything. And the fact that, like, with it being HD and everything, it just looks so much better. And I mean, who wouldn't want to see a Goomba that's like in origami style? So
For sure.
True.
Well, I only played the first one, the original Paper Mario, and I didn't like it. It was boring. But I mean, it got really good near the end, and that's where I was like, oh, like, that sucks. It's good at the end. But other than that, I mean, people told me to try the other ones. The other ones, they say they're a lot better. So I may pick this one up and give it a try, but I'm a little worried. I just don't want that feeling of how long and dreading it was to get finally to the section where it got good. You know, so we'll see. So speaking of Nintendo, according to reports, we're looking at a Super Mario remastered type of thing to come out. People have been speculating a lot of things. They've said like 4 or 5 games for sure is what they are seeing on the list. So they're saying Super Mario 3D World, Sunshine, Galaxy, Super Mario 64 as well. So what are your thoughts on this? And do you think all of this is true? And are you excited if this is what they're doing? So let's go ahead and start with Curly.
Oh boy. This is like, you can't give me better news than this. Like I said a minute ago, Mario's my bread and butter, dude. What do I think of this? I think, first off, that it's happening. Like, there's too many reports, rumors, speculations. Like, it'd be one thing if it was just like just random drop, people are leaking, yada yada. Dude, actual like news outlets are reporting that this is like, this is happening, man. And I know, like, deep down that's how I really feel, but I want it to be real so freaking bad. I will will it into existence, dude. Okay. Mario 64 is what I would be most excited for. I mean, I've never actually played through Sunshine. I've played like bits and pieces of it, but 64 was like the first. I mean, it's basically everybody's first 3D game if you're around at the time, of course. But that game just like changed life, like, for me. That game is so important to me as a gamer, as a person, just everything, man. But I would love to see them take that and somehow retain how it is, because I had some arguments with my friends the other day where they're like, man, just put it like in the Odyssey engine, let it go, like remake the game from the ground up from that point. But honestly, like there are bits and pieces that just feel right about Mario 64 that I don't want changed. Like I want them to remake it, yes, but like in the same vein that like the Insane trilogy for Crash Bandicoot was remade, like I want it to feel the same. I want it to be the same, but just like give me like small quality of life improvements and better graphics. Like that's really all I could ask for. And like I said, I never played Sunshine, so I'd be stoked to finally get a solid chance. The thing I'm worried about with that is like the control scheme. Like how do they go from the GameCube, the whatever triggers you would call the pressure triggers? You don't have that on Nintendo Switch. So how do you like bring over a pressure sensitive trigger game to the Nintendo Switch now? Which brings in like, are they gonna do
GameCube controller?
That's what I'm thinking. But like, are you gonna be forced to do that, or is it gonna be like how Rocket League handles it and kind of just a timing based thing? There's ways around it for sure. But again, like I'm more excited for the 64 thing. And honestly, there you go.
Around here somewhere too.
I really hope that they do both Galaxy games. I've been seeing in the reports like they keep talking about Galaxy 1, but I haven't really seen much hype for like Galaxy 2 behind all the rumors and speculation. But I feel like if they're gonna go all the way, just go all the way, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rigo walked away. So,
Okay, well,
Sideline. How about you, Sideline?
Yeah.
I'm super hyped. I think it will we'll probably get something. I don't know if all the rumors are true, like every single game will get remade, but if they can only remake one or two, I would say definitely Mario 64 and Mario Sunshine would be ideal in my opinion. I agree, Mario 64, I'd like to see some like overall gameplay mechanic improvements from the original Nintendo 64 hardware. Like there were some bugs and stuff that I think if they cleaned up, maybe cleaned up the graphics a little bit, that'd be awesome. And same with Sunshine, but I would like to see them like just remake the game one-to-one remake. I wouldn't want them to add anything to it.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Like, it's like with the 64 thing again, going back to how much they change it. Like, I hope, because and like I'm not great at it or haven't spent like a whole bunch of time, but like the Mario 64 speedrun community is so massive and gigantic, and like the more you change about that game, the more it breaks the speedruns, which can introduce new strats and stuff like that. What I'd really love is if they change it drastically and whatnot, is to give like that option like a lot of newer remakes have, where like the flip of a button you have the OG game, flip of a button you have the new one. But I don't know. I mean, I don't see that being the case if they do a full overhaul, but who knows?
Where are we?
But I guess that does introduce the question. That does introduce the question, like some of the speedrun strats are built around some of the glitches and exploits, and if Nintendo were to patch those out, how would that change the speedrunning community?
Right. Yeah, I'd be fascinated to see like how they figure out how to break the new game now.
Yeah. That's what I'm always interested in seeing.
On
Right?
one hand,
For
I'm like,
sure.
man, I want the jank there. I just want it there just so you can still like the fact that like we're gonna have this overhaul means that the game is gonna be fixed where it's broken. So I'm like, I wonder like what the speedrun community does. Do they jump ship, or do they be like, nah, it's there's not enough jank there for me to beat this game in an hour now?
I can probably see them sticking with the old one. Honestly, like
Yeah, I think
that's what I want. That's what I want.
they're most likely, you know what? They most likely will have the older guys saying, you know what, the new one's great, but you know, old schools were to go for the speed runs, especially now that recently they broke a new record. So now people really want to break that record, right? So that's really good. But I think we'll have newer speedrunners for sure for the new one. I'm kind of, if they do release a new one, I mean, I think I might jump on that and give it a try for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Who are we on?
was going.
I rambled on Sideliner then.
I think Remy, I think Remy would be next.
Remy? Okay.
Remy,
would be
okay.
next.
Remy, what are your thoughts?
I'd be excited because I've never played either 64 or Sunshine. Guys, please don't hate me. It's my only consoles I couldn't play. I think the only thing about 64 that I've seen, like the Mario 64 games, is what I've seen on Chadley's channel. And I've watched him play, and then I don't think I've watched anybody play Sunshine. But I do know that I have seen a little bit somewhere, but I don't remember where. I know it involves like stars or moons or something, so guys, please don't hate me. But if they do come to the Switch, it would be, I would look forward to it because it's like, ooh, a new Mario. I would be really excited for it, but ultimately the reality is I'd be excited for it, I'd play it, I'd get stuck on a level, and then I couldn't progress because I'm not good at platformers, and I would probably end up throwing my controller very gently on my desk, and then walking away and saying, I'm getting rid of this game, and probably never play it again.
No, for sure.
Oh, jeez.
That sounds like a great time.
Right?
I'm excited for that.
Chadley, what about you, buddy? What are your thoughts on all this?
Yeah, I think it would be cool. I mean, obviously 3D World is the one that makes the most sense for them to bring, just because they were bringing all the Wii U games to the system. They would have to make a couple adjustments to some of the levels because there are some levels with 3D World that utilize the microphone that was in the gamepad, where you had to like blow on the microphone and then it would make things happen in the level. Which I'm sure they could work around that somehow, or just remove those levels altogether, or just change them so that they make the platforms. Maybe they come out on a timer or something instead. But Sunshine and 64 would be great to have them come to the system. It would be great to have Sunshine be like the first GameCube game that they would bring to the Switch.
Yeah,
right? I don't think there's any GameCube games have come to the Switch yet. So yeah, if they did like a remaster of Sunshine where they maybe HD textures, didn't really change the gameplay much, but like Curly said, they'd have to figure out how they're going to do the pressure senses, the pressure sensing for the water pressure and stuff. But I don't know. Mario 64 would be awesome if they really didn't change a whole lot. They're going to fix the quirks with the glitches and stuff. You already know they're going to do that. But it would be neat to see them do like HD textures, maybe a little bit of an HD overhaul, but not a lot. Like, don't make it look like Odyssey. Like,
Yeah.
Like I feel people would get turned off by having Mario 64 look like Odyssey. But yeah, I mean, all of them are great picks. I mean, all the Mario games would be great to have on the system. It would be awesome to have every single Mario game on one system.
Yeah.
So they already have all the 2D ones almost. So
Do you think 3D World's gonna have online? No other way to put it. Like Mario Maker 2, they're upping their online service and stuff, and like that's a great multiplayer game. But I wonder if they'll introduce that.
The game itself isn't very challenging, so the multiplayer could potentially work because it's not like there's a lot of like precision platforming in that game. But if the lag is bad, it doesn't really matter. So you're just gonna get frustrated with it anyway.
I hope they have an online mode. Like that would make
Mario Maker online even with the lag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People play Smash Bros online with the lag.
That's true.
But
But
you don't, Remy, doesn't mean that other people don't.
Not willing to do it. Not willing.
We should do it.
Lag makes me rage.
Right. Me too. Corey, what about yourself, man? What are your thoughts on this?
So, okay, we could do a whole like episode on the psychology of leaks, of these rumors and leaks, right?
Yeah.
But I was
Bless you.
but I did just watch a video pretty recently or read an article. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it kind of went about talking about how the leaks that have the most evidence and that have the most like that seem to be so good and true are usually the ones that tend to be fake.
Yeah.
Right? And that's because they're kind of handcrafted with all this other evidence around them, right? Whereas the ones that nobody really expects, I mean, a new Paper Mario, of all those things that were listed, like there was no reason for a new Paper Mario to come out, right?
Yeah.
We had no real evidence. like a lot of people were like, oh, Color Splash and Sticker Star, meh, you know, so why would they keep making another one?
Yeah.
Right? So that one to me seems like, yeah, makes sense at this point. I'm not saying I'm discounting any of the other ones coming out, but I am just saying, like, I'm not putting a whole bunch of stock in it just because a lot of like news outlets and stuff are saying it, because basically what happens is one gets wind of it and goes, oh my God, I got to put this out first. And then all of the next ones go, oh my God, we got to be the first to put this out. So they just keep putting it out regardless of whether they have like real hard evidence or not. So like all these big news outlets, it's a race to be the first to have the most and best information.
Yeah.
So like this big list of things, I mean, it would make sense to me to put all of them on the Switch if you could, but that's actually a lot of development still to fix these bugs, to upscale all of these things, to make a lot of them have control schemes that would have to be adjusted a lot, because like the Galaxy games, while they don't use a lot of heavy like motion control directly, they do have a decent amount of motion control, which you would almost have to be like, okay, people, you either need to play it like handheld, I mean, like you need to play it with the Joy-Cons disconnected all the time, or you know, something to make it work. So there would be a lot of issues that they would have to overcome, which they could do, completely could do. But it would, to me, it sounds like it would be a lot more work than being like, okay, we're just going to throw out all these remakes and remasters because it's the 30th or 35th anniversary or whatever of Mario. Yeah. So with all that great information that people are citing and everything, it seems like it's too good to be true. And so I'm just going to stick with, maybe we'll see something, but I'm not getting my hopes up. But I would love to see all of them. I mean, just like all of you, I would love to see them all. I'm just not putting a lot of stock in it just yet.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the thing. Like, I was like, what if this whole thing? Remember, because they said when they're gonna announce something big for the 30th anniversary, it's like, what if this was the big announcement, the Paper Mario? Like, what if that was it?
Ooh, let me tell you what, that would be a letdown for a lot of people, though, because that's not a big announcement, according to a lot of people, when they've all gotten their hopes up on things.
I mean, sure. The Nintendo fan culture it can be very toxic in the first place. If anything doesn't have a Smash announcement, it's trash and all this. So it's like,
true,
they're not gonna win anybody over either way. So I mean, you know what I'm saying? And to be honest, like the well's like getting dry for the Switch. Like we're gonna start seeing sequels now because their franchise is already out the door. like Paper Mario was speculated long before this big old batch of Mario remakes and all
a long time.
Yeah, I mean, that one, like you said, does make the most sense. These others are just, that's why I'm just like, I'm sold. I'm so hyped because it's what I want. But again, like, will it happen? I don't know. Yes, it will. It will. God dang it.
But no, I mean,
its existence.
People are now doing their, like, they don't see Nintendo doing it. So they're like, turn around. They're like, oh, look, we made this. Even though Nintendo turns around and knocks it out quickly. But like we were just talking about the fan-made Zelda, Paper Zelda, which looks amazing, and I would love if we got a Paper Zelda, wouldn't lie. Okay, so moving away from Nintendo, because we could be on and on and on about Nintendo.
Wait, this is the last bit of Nintendo? Hold on.
So that's all right. We'll be back to it at 15 minutes.
Right. So Sony, they did a live stream a couple of days ago. They did a live stream showing off some Last of Us Part 2 gameplay, and they were crowded, and it looked really good. Like they showed some awesome stuff, and I'm very excited now for it. Did you guys catch it by any chance? If you did, what were your thoughts? Are you ready for the title? I've decided to go back and play the first one at all. So it's coming out, I believe, July or June? Is it June?
It's next month. Well, I don't know what day it is now, but it's next month in like 3 weeks.
Yeah, because they moved it from May, and then they moved it, right? So, but yeah, so let's start with Curly. What are your thoughts? Did you catch the live stream by any chance?
I did. I didn't catch it live, but I watched it later. Anyway, man, it's so much more brutal than I expected from like I feel like they've been quiet on the game, and their first trailer was like, it was Ellie playing an acoustic guitar, set the tone and everything. You're like, dude, I'm ready. I'm sold. I'm in. Fast forward to the next thing we see, and they're just cutting stomachs open and all this. It's like, oh my God, this game's getting brutal. Then you fast forward, and it's kind of like, okay, we're setting the tone again. It's chill. And then this trailer, man, it is brutal. That game, the sound effects, the graphics, the emotions put into this new reveal. I almost call it the direct, their state of play. Man, it was so visceral and exciting, and I just cannot be more excited for it. And it was weird because for a time, because it's been in such like a long development cycle, that I've kind of like waned. I'm like, I don't know if I really like The Last of Us as much as I remembered. And then so I recently just started replaying it probably like 2 weeks ago, and I'm only like halfway through, but like, dude, my excitement level is at a 10 right now. And this new trailer just has me sold, dude. Like I said, it's brutal, it's beautiful, and it looks like it's going to deliver. So I'm so stoked for it.
For those who are just joining us, our discussion right now is talking about The Last of Us 2 and the trailer gameplay thing they did on the live stream that Sony revealed. So it was awesome. Sideline, what about you, man? Did you catch it? Are you interested in it at all?
I did watch the trailer, but not interested in it. Not my type of game at all. But the gameplay and graphics did look beautiful.
Okay, how do we?
I will say that.
Ban, right click, kick off.
Can I say? Sorry. It's interesting how little they've changed. Because like I said, I did just restart my playthrough, and it coming out on a PS3, like replaying it now, you do see a lot of like old mechanics. Like it's almost like the AI in the game is a little aged. It's weird how that game is aged because the storytelling, the characters, and everything like that has aged so beautifully, but some of the gameplay stuff hasn't. And like you see in the trailer, a lot of like the UI and everything doesn't look very changed. It looks very similar.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
one.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah,
very much right. Mama Remy, have you gotten a chance to see anything on The Last of Us 2? Or in this case, have you played The Last of Us 1 or gotten a chance to see anybody play it?
I don't own a PS4. So
Oh, that's right. You don't. Yes.
But I do have PlayStation like streamers that I watch that play those type of games, like Last of Us, Days Gone, something Z, I can't remember, but there's like a bunch of games like that I wouldn't necessarily play myself, and I don't really like the gameplay because it's kind of scary, at least for me. But I do like the story, I do like the graphics, so I'll go visit them while they play those. And I did watch a few people play The Last of Us, and I thought the story was really good. So as I won't be playing it myself, I will definitely be watching those people play it. So
isn't she adorable? It's scary. Chadley, what about you, my friend? Have you watched anybody play? Because I know you don't own a PS4 either. So have you gotten a chance to see it or seen anybody play The Last of Us, the original one?
I missed the little live stream for Last of Us Part 2, but I have seen some people play through. I haven't seen the whole game, but I have watched bits and pieces of Last of Us from other streamers. I mean, the game, even the first game, looks gorgeous. I mean, this next one, I can't even imagine this one's going to look so much better.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see other people play through Part 2, unless something changes recently and I'll be able to play it myself. But because those games are all exclusive to Sony, the PlayStation, right?
Yeah, for sure. It is. They are.
Okay.
Exclusive.
Yeah.
No, Curly.
Curly froze.
Oh no.
No, that's okay. He'll be back. Yeah, okay, so I have The Last of Us on the PS4. I played it originally on the PS3 when it came out, and I loved it. It was great. When it came on the PS4, it was like day and night, like the difference of them pushing the graphics. So there was a big difference, and I started replaying it, and it was awesome. Oh no, Discord broke on Curly. So I'm very excited for it. I started playing number 1 again just to kind of get the feel of it again. It's a very long story, so I was like, I'm not gonna stream it, but I will definitely play it and possibly stream the second one. But I have yet to even beat Final Fantasy VII yet, so yep, there's lots to still play. So we'll see. I am excited. I got to see the gameplay, and Curly's right. It's very gruesome, but it's beautifully done. and a lot of it hasn't changed. It looks and it seems like the gameplay is still similar to the first one. I guess that saying, if it's not broken or whatever it is,
Ain't broke, don't fix it.
yeah, that thing. So I think they went with that rule in this case, so it works and it's running great, so that's exciting. So speaking of Sony,
You wanna
Sony's
talk
been
on this one?
what's that?
Bad. Do I not get to talk on this one?
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. My bad. Sorry.
No worries, dude. So to be fair, I have absolutely no interest in this game. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I played the first one a decent bit, and it just didn't hold me, despite everyone being like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you don't like that game. It's the most amazing game in the universe, and everyone should like it."
Everyone should like it.
Yeah, I mean that's basically what I was hearing for so long, and I was like, guys, like it's not that great to me. Anyway, but the thing is, a lot of people enjoy it, and I know they had indefinitely postponed it, and then they immediately, like 2 weeks later, they're like, by the way, it's actually coming out like next month. So I thought that was really strange, but I'm glad that it's coming out, and I know that a lot of people really are excited for it. And I have plans to watch people play it. Like I'm gonna watch Hero play it, and whoever else, because it's not something that I'm gonna play myself. I don't have to worry about spoilers, so you don't have to worry about me like going, hey, okay, bye, I'm leaving because of that. But yeah, so like I said, I don't have any particular interest in playing it, but I'm interested in checking it out, how it is, and with people how people enjoy it. That's all I have to say about it.
Hold on, give me 1 sec.
Mm-mm. Girly.
Hello.
Hello,
Hey.
Curly.
I don't know what happened, guys. I'm so sorry.
Oh,
That's
no.
okay. Just it looked like the camera's not working. That's okay. Voice is good enough.
Yeah.
Okay, so sorry about that. Somebody was asking me a question, and they're at work and they just want to make sure everything's okay. Okay, so Sony has been very quiet for the PS5 stuff. Nobody's heard anything other than what they did, that little announcement, which everybody was like, it was all right, but but recently they've done a giant announcement. They did like a big mic drop, I guess you can say, and they showed off this tech demo that everybody was blown away, where the people from Epic Games were showing off their Unreal Engine 5, and they were using the PS5, and they took it step by step, showing all this great stuff, how the physics are advanced now, how each rock is its own its own pixel, and they showed all the pixels they can use now, and people were blown out of the water with it. This was not only that, like, it was showing how powerful the console was and how advanced, because it all came down to the SSD, how advanced that SSD is and how fast it can respond to the console. So what were your thoughts on it, and do you think that this SSD is really advanced and more advanced than what we see in PC? So let's start with Corey with this one in this case, because I forgot you.
Yeah.
So that demo was really cool. First of all, I hope that ends up being some kind of actual game. First of all, because I'm interested in that. It looked really neat. But I thought it was really cool. The whole idea that I'm a nerd and like a tech nerd and a developer, so that stuff was really cool to me. That they showed us they could have it was some obscene number of triangles all loaded in, and like one statue was like 5 million triangles or something, and it was perfect. Like it was no problem loading it. That's great. It means a lot less though to the end user, right? Like it does mean we'll get to see smoother gameplay and things like that in some cases, but really, to most of us, we want to play a game that plays smooth and that looks cool and whatever. But like all of this, it can do 10 billion triangles loaded into a scene at one time doesn't really mean that much to us, other than understanding that it does mean they can make bigger and more complex games with probably less loading time.
Yeah.
Right. And that is a huge selling point. I'm not trying to undersell that, because that is I'm absolutely floored by some of the loading times we can have in some of these games these days. I mean, some of Switch games like Ukulele and the Impossible Lair, like the loading times on the Switch are beyond ridiculous. Should not exist in the way that they do. So being able to, it's gonna mean that we're gonna get more complex and better, better like not just graphics but just everything, particles and more enemies and this and that on loaded in all at once. So better loading, and that's great. Other than that, it didn't mean a whole lot to me as a user, I guess, as a player. But I thought it was really cool still.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm glad it was still very cool and looked amazing.
What about you, Mr. Sideline? What were your thoughts?
Like I said, I'm not a huge PlayStation fan. Or a rather Sony gamer, I guess you should say. I could say Sony gamer. But I did watch the tech demo, and I get super hyped for new technologies. So like I went and downloaded Unreal Engine 5. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but it's there. I actually, I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but I have it now. So, what was interesting to me about the tech demo was, I understand what you're saying, Corey, and like that it doesn't mean a lot to an end user, but from my perspective, whenever they announce a new game engine, obviously Unreal Engine 5 is not just going to be on Sony consoles, but it can run on every console.
Yeah.
And so to me, it was more like, hey, this is a step forward, and Sony's like trying to take the lead on it was the takeaway I got. They're trying to show like, hey, we're trying to provide a better gameplay experience for our users, which I thought was pretty good. My big takeaway from that though was the audio and the lighting. I thought that the lighting aspect of Unreal Engine 5 looked really good compared to a lot of the previous game engines, and that the audio was like really crisp. And they were talking about importing like pre-recorded audio and then just like perfectly bringing that into a game, so like footsteps sound like somebody's literally walking behind you or something. That's just crazy.
Yeah, for sure. Curly, what about you, my friend?
So my biggest takeaway from this, it is interesting how Sony and Epic, how their partnership has kind of melded into this being a giant thing for just the PS5 in general, because they've been so frankly quiet about the PS5, this whole year. I mean, it's coming out and you would say a few months, and like we haven't seen it, we don't know the price, we don't know anything except for what they've been putting out in these Wired articles and just kind of like drip feeding us everything. So it's interesting that their partnership has kind of given them this boost. But this was originally supposed to be shown at the GDC conference that was supposed to be paired with Mark Cerny's reveal of like the tech stuff, that big tech reveal that they did recently of the PS5. And those two things going hand in hand make a lot more sense together, because what Mark Cerny was saying was a lot of gibberish that I didn't understand. Yep. And actually seeing it in action on an engine that isn't specifically for PS5 just is crazy to me, just on what PS5 is going to be doing, because how, like Corey was talking about that SSD drive, it's not necessarily like he was saying, it's not for consumer. The information that we've been given so far is for developers, and what they're doing with this SSD drive or whatever really changes game development from this point on. Like what the Unreal 5 engine was saying is words like, the PCs are going to have to catch up to this hard drive because it's easier to do on the PS5 than what's available on PC at any price point. That's insane. Basically a console that is going to be significantly cheaper, hopefully, than a top-line gaming PC will be able to do things that a gaming PC can't. And I mean, the tech demo obviously isn't just on PS5, but the fact that they're, pairing their marketing along with it and saying like, this is going to be the machine that pushes game development forward, rather than not necessarily being the most powerful graphically or whatever, but what they're going to be capable of doing as far as like open world building and everything, the way that it reads information so fast. I mean, I'm excited, I'm stoked, but it is like Corey said, like it's information that isn't exciting to a casual person, but as far as like game development goes, like that's really who should be the most excited, are developers.
Yeah, for sure. No, for sure. Remy, what about you? Have you seen anything about this? Oh, you're muted.
Sorry, my son's being loud in the other room with the puppy, and he keeps like banging, and it's like, so I had to keep muting myself. So, but I have seen the demo, and it's really pretty. Actually, it's like really gorgeous. I don't understand much about like the mechanics and like the back end stuff of that. It's just I want to play a game that's really pretty and has a really nice storyline. So if that's what games are gonna look like from now on. If that pushes gameplay, on, it doesn't matter if it's like console or, PC, if that's what it's going to start looking like, I need to upgrade everything. And so I can play this because I want to play pretty. But of course, everybody knows that there could be all sorts of brand new games come out that look super pretty, and then there's a pixel game that gets hung in front of my face, and I'm like, what?
I think many of us here can relate with you on that. I promise you.
For sure. Chadley, what about you, my friend?
So yeah, I watched the demo. It was really awesome looking. Obviously, I didn't put too much faith into the end product of a game being exactly what they're showing in the tech demo, only because it's a tech demo and it's not a fully fledged game where they run into some types of restrictions. Obviously, hardware is removing those restrictions every single time we have a new generation of console. But yeah, it was just a tech demo. They had specific pathways already determined and things like that. So like I always look at that kind of stuff, and it's like I don't put. It looks great and it ran great and everything, and it was a very good piece for them to show off running on a PlayStation 5, to show this like how well it was running, no frame drops and nothing. Then I dug into when you guys were mentioning about the SSD, the high speed SSD only being on the console. I went and looked. The technology they're using obviously it's being adopted by AMD at first, which obviously AMD is the one that is very closely tied to the new PlayStation and the new Xbox and everything. So I wouldn't be surprised if we find out that the Xbox Series X is going to have something very similar to this, because everything we've heard about both consoles, like they're almost like identical. There's very minor adjustments that Microsoft is making and Sony are making to make their systems unique. But like the basic hardware and stuff, and I'm trying not to get too techie, but that's just who I am. So
No, of course.
The core systems are almost identical. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Microsoft's like, yeah, Sony can do this, but so can ours. It's not as big of a deal as they're making it sound like. Eventually, PCs are not going to be that far behind. They're already talking about implementing what the PlayStation 5 is implementing as well.
Yeah.
So within a year, they're already going to be caught up. But like Curly said, to take advantage of that stuff, like, you're going to be spending probably $2,000 to build a PC that can actually, it would warrant using that technology for the faster hard drive speeds and stuff. So
yeah,
and again, it's like, do you really need it on a gaming PC that's like your hard drives are already fast as it is with the technology that's out? So
no, for sure. I mean, I'm very excited. Here's the thing, like it's like what they've been trying to explain, but again, we're always gonna have the fanboys over on Xbox, the fanboys over on Sony, and we're always gonna have that same issue of which console is faster. And they've announced it like 7 billion times, everybody, even like big tech guys, and they said at this point they're so equal. Big quotes, the teraflops don't matter anymore.
Flops.
The teraflops don't matter anymore. They're both so very similar. Like 3 teraflops more is not gonna make a big difference. Everybody's, oh, it is. It really isn't, and I agree. It really isn't. It comes down to what we're gonna be producing out of the two. I mean, we're talking about a very strong console, and like I said, it may last for a year that these two consoles are ahead of PCs. But I mean, we know how PC works. 10 days later, it's like, oh look, you have a fast this, but we have a fast this too now. You know, so But I'm very excited. I mean, that tech demo really showed everything. I was like gogging over all the technology they were using, that lighting, you know, hearing those bats, and I was like wow. And I got to hear it like on my atmosphere surround sound, so you can imagine how sexy that sounded. Like everything, every little noise. Oh my gosh. So they did a really good job. I'm very excited. I think and I'm gonna say for both consoles, it's really hard for me to decide who I'm going with, or if I'm even gonna get both or just the one, because it's exciting to see what they're bringing to the table and what they're going to bring to the table. I mean, there's just so much right now, so much.
I wish it was a real game. I wish it was that what they showed was a real game. I was like, man, I want to play this. Like,
I would want to play it. It looks good. It looked like it was gonna have like this epic story of like Tomb Raider.
And I think it's worth noting, I think Chadley and Corey kind of touched on it, like tech demos are tech demos. Like
Exactly.
if you look back on the Wii U, they put out that Legend of Zelda game that we never saw that looked amazing, incredible graphically. We never got anything close to that on the Wii U. So I mean,
Yeah,
everything you see on as far as the tech demo goes is going to be either very late in the generation or just never going to happen.
Well, I mean, perfect example of never gonna happen too is, do you guys remember the tech demo of Final Fantasy VII on the PS3?
Mm-hmm.
That's where everybody got hyped. And what we got on the PS3, we've never received anything like that up until this generation PS4, where they were actually able to copy what they showed on the tech demo.
They played us like a PlayStation.
Oh, they did. But it's just how it is, right? So like, I mean, it's just nice to say, look, this is what it's capable of doing. Will we be able to do it with a full game? Probably not. But we can, you know, put the lighting in for maybe this game, but we won't be able to do the nice sound, or put the nice sound for the game, but we won't put the nice lighting. You know, there's give and take, I guess, for everything. But I'm very excited. Again, Sony has been holding on us, and recently they made this huge announcement that June 4th, we're looking at a big announcement for that big reveal. They're showing off games. They're going to be showing off the console. Apparently, there's a big surprise as well that they've changed on the console. There's been a lot of back and forth on that. They're saying that not only that, it's going to be a big event, something that we've never seen before, and it's just something that we need to look forward to. I'm assuming we're not going to get a state of play, hopefully. Knock on wood. You know, but I'm also very excited because hearing that they have something to surprise us with. I spelled predictions wrong. Anyways, what do you call it?
I corrected it in my copy.
Seeing
Man,
how
they're pro predictions.
Yeah, they're pro predictions.
Predictions.
Seeing how exciting it is, and this secret thing, I believe I may know what it is, but let's go ahead and start with Curly and see maybe if he knows possibly what it could be. So go ahead, Curly.
I have no idea. Like, it's the same thing with Nintendo at this point. Like, I don't know what anybody's doing anymore, man. And ever since this COVID stuff happened, like, I would have bet my bottom dollar Sony was going to do their typical giant press conference where they invite the press over, everybody here from there. That can't happen. So what I imagine this is similar to a state of play, but like set up like a live production, I suppose, without like an audience.
Yeah.
As far as like how they present this, as far as what's new on the console, that's a surprise. The only thing that would really shock me is if they bundled in with some sort of VR component, because you know they're heavy into the PSVR thing. Anything else that they put, I mean, like, is it going to be some sort of those weird haptic trigger things that they kind of put on the PS4 new edition? I don't know, something like that, but I don't know. I have no idea. But I mean, I think what this is going to be finally a showcase of what third-party games and first-party games, you know, close to launch are going to look like. That's what I think this presentation is mostly going to be. I don't think they're going to give you a price point still.
Mm-hmm.
I'm betting that they still wait for Microsoft to come out the door with theirs. I think they're going to be as close and as late as they can to reveal their price, because I think they really don't know.
It's gonna be like coming out tomorrow, and we'll have that price for you right then.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
You have to get the price from there.
I
They'll be like
definitely
add to cart, and you'll see the price.
the pre-order with just a blank check, man. I definitely think we'll see a date, or at least like a window, like October, November. I think it's going to be sometime in November, personally.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. As far as games go, I'm certain that we'll see Horizon 2 in some fashion. I don't know. I don't think it's going to launch with the console, but I think it'll be launch window.
Horizon
I think-
remastered. 'Cause we
I
need
think-
that right now.
Horizon, whatever the sequel is going to be, I think that's going to be their big get hype moment for the reveals. I don't think God of War 2 could be ready. Spider-Man 2, possibly. I don't think they've had enough time for that game, and I just don't know what else. I mean, Knack 3, are they on 3? Are they on 4? I don't even know.
Anybody even play that game? Those games
Dude,
anymore?
I played the first Knack. I actually enjoyed it. It gets
I
way more
enjoyed
hate
it
than
too.
it deserves.
Yeah, I
It gets
enjoyed it. I
more
thought it was
hate
really well
than
done.
it deserves.
Um,
But Knack 3, maybe. I don't know.
For sure. Sideline, what about you, man? What are your thoughts on all this?
I would say that I think it's cool that they're doing that they're kind of like letting everybody know they're going to do a big announcement, especially with some other companies saying that they're basically just going to be putting out social media blasts for news. I think it's kind of cool. Sony's gonna do like some big thing. Personally, I don't know a lot about the systems or the games or anything, but I would guess they're probably just gonna announce some big titles. I do think that it could be possible that they would release a price range, like not a specific price, but maybe a price range that people could be expecting. But otherwise, I don't really have much comment on the matter.
Mama Remy, what are your thoughts?
I really don't follow PlayStation too much because I'm mainly a PC gamer, and then the Switch. So, but the one thing that I can say about it is that I'm actually kind of glad that they're doing like a big event like we're used to, and not just like dropping something on social media, be like, oh, here you go, boink, and then run away, and then like everyone's just like, what? And then there's so much that people can like take and twist and say, oh no, they said this on this site, they said this on this site. You know, you don't know which one's, you know, the truth, because they only put so much information in a short post, which I feel is a cop out. You know, even though I know that's the only thing they can do right now, but at least with big events like this, we can get more information directly from the source. We know exactly what we're getting, and it's more of the presentation of everything like what we're used to. You know, because the state of play is gone, the directs are gone. You know, at least this brings back something that we need, and I hope that they keep doing this. Even if I don't know what they're doing, I hope they keep doing this, because we're going back to normal, at least gaming wise.
Yeah, for sure. Chadley, what are your thoughts?
Will this be the announcement that they show a silhouette of what it looks like?
It was going like this.
Maybe we'll see the power cord.
Yeah.
I mean, the PlayStation's been black for a while. If they show a silhouette, it could just be the actual
Like-
PlayStation.
Like the original Sonic the Hedgehog trailer. Just a silhouette of Sonic. No, I mean, I agree with what everybody said. Like, they probably won't give us a final price. They'll probably be like either a price window or say price coming soon or something along those lines. I mean, it would be cool for them to finally show what the system's going to look like. And obviously, yes, showing off some of the games that are expected to be with the console at launch or near to launch would be cool. But yeah, other than that, I don't like, because I'm not much into Sony. I don't really have much else to say.
For sure. No worries. Corey, what about you, my friend? What are your thoughts?
Well, next up is Corey and Remy talk for 3 hours apparently. So okay, I don't have a whole lot to add, honestly. Everybody has really said mostly what I think. I do think it's a little too far out, most likely, for them to give us a price point, because I do agree with whoever, I think maybe Curly or somebody said that, like, probably November. We got the PS4 in November of 2013. I feel like November is probably, pretty good.
It's got to
idea that
happen
we could
before
get.
Black Friday. Like,
Yeah,
it has to happen
absolutely.
before then.
I do agree, however, that they're probably trying to wait their best to be able to wait for Xbox to give their, their price point. But again, it's just a little too early, I think, for anybody to give out a price point. However, have we seen an official, actual PS5 yet? Like, have they seen the hardware
No.
officially?
No.
Okay, I
Just
do
the
think.
controller.
Yeah, we've seen the controller, the ugly looking paint job on that controller.
It's horrible.
It is. The design looks good, but the paint job's bad, in my opinion. Anyways,
The color
that's,
scheme is wrong. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
but I think we're gonna finally get a chance to see the actual hardware. I mean, I think this is a perfect time for them to be like, this is a PlayStation. I think this is, PlayStation 5. This is what it looks like. Here's it standing up, because they've been doing that forever now. I do think that we're gonna get a few big name titles. We've already had a couple of titles announced for the PS5. I can't remember what they are. They haven't been extremely I'm not super amped for them or anything, but they have already announced a couple of them that are coming to PS5. But I do think we're gonna get some. Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about too.
The Game Awards announcement.
Yeah, so I think we're gonna see now, but that wasn't a first party one, so that I guess that doesn't really count, right? Because we're talking Sony. So I don't know what Sony's gonna drop, what they're gonna show, right? Other than maybe saying The Last of Us is also coming as a launch title, or something like that. But I think that's too far out too, though. I feel like that wouldn't be. We're talking 4 or 5 months minimum. That doesn't seem like a great. Anyway, sorry, that's a whole nother. But yeah, basically, I expect us to see the console. I expect us to see to hear some names of like some big titles, 2 or 3 titles. I mean, nothing major. I don't expect a whole library, but I expect them to be like, and from Naughty Dogs is this, or or whatever. It doesn't matter, but some Nathan Drake or something, just something big, and then that's kind of it. And I would hope for a price point, but I don't expect it yet. I don't think it's gonna happen.
For sure. I mean, one of the things that I'm looking at is I think we're definitely gonna see the console. I mean, I feel that it's a must now at this point. But I think the big thing they're gonna drop, and everybody's hoping they do, because they got a little shade from Microsoft about it, was the backwards compatibility thing. They got thrown a little bit of shade, saying, "Oh, we have all this library, and you're gonna be able to do this with your old, play your old games on there." So people are really hoping that they've been listening, and they're gonna turn around and say, "Oh, by the way, guys, every PlayStation game's gonna work." Something's.
So we already know PS4, right?
Yes,
will be backwards compatible with it.
Yep.
They've said that like
100 at launch or
100.
something.
Yeah, something
most
like-
played games or something like that.
Yeah.
Something
Yeah.
really weird worded.
I cannot.
But they've updated that since then, saying like it should have upwards to several hundred, or they said that those are the ones that have been tested or whatever.
Yeah.
But there's going to be more tested. I don't know. It's their messaging for backwards compatibility has been really bad.
It's been
thus
bad, yeah.
far.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's why everybody's like kind of hoping. I mean, myself, I'm not holding my breath for it. I'm not. I know that it's gonna be PS4, and that's fine with me. But I'm not holding my breath for any of the older
thing
consoles.
is with that is that like they didn't build the PlayStation 4, and I mean they didn't build like the PS5 is built with backwards compatibility in mind for the PS4.
Yeah.
For the current generation. It's not impossible because Xbox did it. I agree, but I feel like I just don't expect them to be like, let's go and reverse engineer all this. Especially when you think about it, on the PS3, they had to have multiple processors, multiple actual separate processors in the PS3 in order for them to get backwards compatibility right.
Yeah, they had like the cell processing, which was like really hard to make architecture for even developers at the time until like later in their cycle. Like,
Yeah, and then they had to have a separate processor architecture for the older stuff. So
in order for them to have complete PlayStation backwards compatibility, they'd have to have like all the systems built in this.
I mean,
I'm not saying it's impossible.
no, I mean,
But
but
I would be stoked, but I don't know, man. I don't know.
I know, like, how many times have people tried doing Xbox, the original one, as what do you call it, emulator, and they haven't been able to because it's been such a pain, right? But I watch Richard Review Tech a lot. He's usually my go-to. There it is. The PS1's true. It's true. They put it in that little thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I have one of those.
They,
lying
they
around.
have a good reference to go from, right?
Yeah, they do. So like, Rich of Review Tech said, and he made a good point. It was like, at this day and time, it's kind of needed because, you know, you can have your old consoles, and that's great to have your old consoles. And I'm one of them. I have my PS1 and my PS2. The PS2 barely plays PS1 games as is. It, you know, plays PS2 games not no issue. My PS1 barely plays its own games as well. You know, they're old, they're dying. So to have backwards compatibility is a fantastic thing, to be able to keep your old games, like it or not. You know, so I think in this case, I have a bunch of old Xbox games that I want to play so badly, so that's why I was like, I kind of want to just buy an Xbox One for that reason. Pop in my old games and just start playing them. But I mean, everybody wants something from it, but I guess we just have to wait till June 4th to see what we get from
Right
them.
around the corner.
It is. It's right there. It's right there. All right, let's switch it a little bit. Minecraft Dungeons. It has been released, and I have heard so many mixed reviews. I don't even know where to go with this. I was talking to Sideline about it today on his stream, and people are complaining there is no story. People are saying that there is a story. People are saying that they should have put voice acting in this because that way it's more intriguing. People are saying that they had to put more ideas into the item pickups where you can see what each item is giving you instead of having to go in and manually do it yourself. But then I'm hearing it's a great game to play. It's just a dumbed down version of Diablo 3 and so on and so forth. Have you guys picked it up? Have you played it? What are your thoughts on it? And are you enjoying it? Also, I did hear from Corey that there is some crazy bugs going on. So if you uninstall the game, I guess it erases that driver that it was installed in, and then it's bricking it's bricking the SD cards from the Switch as well. So let's go ahead and go with Corey on this one. I want to hear this story.
Okay, so we'll start with the bugs, right? So first of all, so this SD card has been faithful to me since I got the Switch. This little 128 gig SD card. I installed Minecraft Dungeons the day it came out the other day on my Switch, and then there was a system update, and it rebooted, and my Switch wouldn't recognize my SD card anymore. Told me I needed to format it. I was like, no. So I went to my PC and I was like, well, let me just copy everything off real quick, and then I'll format it back on the Switch so that everything's okay, and I'll bring it all back. No, even my computer would not. Even Windows didn't want to format the SD card. It literally is unusable at this point. It's bricked. So that's that. I have another SD card. It didn't happen on that one, thankfully. I don't know if it's a direct relation, but there is another bug that I have not experienced that I've heard and seen posts about on PC. If you download it and install it to a secondary drive, for instance, and then you uninstall it via the add or remove programs menu, people have reported it wiping that drive out.
Oh my god.
Microsoft acknowledged this as a bug and in their bug tracker, and then has subsequently marked it as resolved as well. Maybe it has been, I don't know. But yeah, so anyways, so that's that. Great stuff. That's one of the many bugs. As far as the game itself goes, though, I'm really enjoying it. I'm a huge fan of Diablo, first of all. I play Diablo on PC, Switch, and PS4. I thoroughly enjoy it, in case that doesn't say anything, right? This game is obviously not Diablo, but it is the same game style. You run around a randomly generated area with enemies that you kill in order to get loot that gets more powerful as you gain levels, so that you can improve the difficulty. You can raise the difficulty in which you go back into other levels. That's the same gameplay loop. It's fantastic. I love it. It's themed like Minecraft. They've done some really cute little things that I would have never have thought about. And there's your iconic sounds in it, and all your mobs and everything. It's really good. I mean, they did a fantastic job. It's not perfect. It's got its bugs and everything, but they've done a great job. The things Rigo mentioned are valid complaints, but one person said there was 9 levels in the game and is super mad about that. There are 18 levels that you can then that you are then encouraged to replay on higher tier difficulty to unlock more gear that you can't even get at first. People are, people that are saying a lot of bad things about it. I'm not saying people can't say bad things without having played it, but a lot of them haven't played it thoroughly to know that they're kind of mistaking. Like, there's a secret level for every single level in the game. And those levels are the secret levels are typically longer than the regular levels. So, like, it's actually not. Again, that doesn't make it huge, but for $20, as Ryan's pointing out, it's a $20 game. What do you expect? First of all, let's throw that one out there. It's a $20 game. Technically, it's an indie game, and you're getting 18 levels with a lot of replayability to them, and then a lot of gear and this and that. Like, it's awesome. I'm enjoying it a huge amount. So, yeah.
There we go. Curly, have you gotten a chance to try it out? What are your thoughts?
No, I haven't. Like I said earlier, I just played the OG Minecraft for the very first time like a couple days ago, so I'm fresh on it. I did actually just start playing Diablo 3 for the first time as well. I don't know if it's just me, but that game seems stupid easy. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong.
But Diablo?
I have to talk to you about it later, Corey, but I got questions. But as far as Minecraft dungeons, since I don't really have any like personal touches, I kind of had a couple questions. Like, do you think it adds to the game? Like, should this even be a Minecraft game? Like, I mean, is this just a good dungeon crawler with Minecraft added to it? Like, do these two things need to be together is what I'm asking?
I think it's a above average dungeon crawler. I'm not going to call it an amazing dungeon crawler on its own merit, but it's an above average dungeon crawler that takes Minecraft elements, and I think it does a very good job of handcrafting them and weaving them into the game. But I think they need to be together for this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for it, don't get me wrong, but like, I mean, it doesn't strike me as like something I need to play, especially since I'm so new to Minecraft. But it's like,
if you're new to Minecraft and enjoying it, but you're also playing Diablo 3 as a fresh thing, I don't think you necessarily need to go do that. If you are a hardcore fan of Minecraft and a hardcore fan of Diablo, it's one of those things that it crosses those niches together. And I say, go for it. That's kind of the way I look at it for your perspective.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably give it a shot one day, but
so you don't lose out a whole bunch in the end if you end up, checking it out. Or if you have Game Pass, it's on PC and Xbox Game Pass.
Ooh, there you go, man. Game Pass is killing it, by the way.
Yeah,
I don't have any more really to add to
it. Okay, what about you, Sideline? What are your thoughts on it?
So I got it yesterday and then proceeded to play it for 8 hours. I don't normally play games for that long. I have a pretty short attention span normally when it comes to games, but I was thoroughly engaged in this game from the time I turned it on until I stopped playing it because the person I was playing it with, a multiplayer, had to go. But I would say, like, from the moment it turned on, I was drawn into a story, which I thought was really interesting. I've never played a dungeon crawler before. I was kind of worried about the mechanics because I'm super picky about controller layouts and control schemes for like top-down games. So I was really concerned. But as soon as I got into the game, I was immediately like, it felt right that it was Minecraft. I felt like the storyline was not shoehorned in to... Like, I felt like I've been playing Minecraft for years, and I felt like all the storyline aspects were included in the game. I will say one complaint that I did have right off the bat was I felt like the control, like keyboard and mouse settings, controller schemes, were really jank. Like, right off the bat. Like, I immediately plugged in a controller. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. I think that my biggest gripe was the main melee attack. Like, your primary melee attack was hard to map, and there was no like WASD directional control, so you're just clicking. Which I know that that's a dungeon crawler thing, but again, I'm super picky, so that's what I pick on.
You're not the only person that's complained about that, though. Stephie was complaining about the exact same thing about not being able to move with the WASDs and stuff. Like, it's it's a strange choice. I
Yeah.
mean, whether it's good or bad or whatever, it's just a strange choice to not give us that ability.
Yeah, I agree. But thankfully, I had a controller I could plug in. In terms of like the overall mechanics of the game, I thought that the addition of more weapons, I was expecting like sword, pickaxe, bow, axe, all the normal ones. I was kind of interested to see if they'd include a shovel or a hoe as a weapon. I thought that might be
That would
interesting.
have been funny.
But I haven't encountered that yet, but I'm hoping maybe. So yeah, I mean, I thought overall, I thought the enchantments menu and the overall levels and everything progressed pretty quickly and were easy to understand. I don't do I play a lot of Minecraft, but I don't do a lot of the enchanting and stuff in there because I'm just never bothered to learn any of it. But I thought this game made it really easy to just oh, okay, explain what it is and give me the option to do it. So overall, I'm super happy with the game. But I just read Corey's comment about the issues, and I was in the middle of playing, and my computer just went black.
Oh no!
Oh no!
my
And I was just like, oh crap. And so I booted it back up, and then it was hanging at this black screen, and then for just a second, the initial Windows boot up screen, choose your options showed up, and I was just like, oh crap, it wiped my hard drive. And thankfully it wasn't, but I was just like,
So the good thing is you can be thankful if you have it installed on your same drive as your boot drive. It can't possibly do that because it won't have permission to.
Right.
Thankfully.
Right. But I wasn't thinking about that at the time. My brain was racing oh crap, a $20 game just destroyed my hard drive.
No.
Oh bad. Mama Remy, what are your thoughts?
Actually, my husband got a new computer, so I was really
Coco.
salty at it. So I decided to make myself feel better. So I stomped off at
Coco, come
10 o'clock at night, and I bought Minecraft Dungeons last night. And I'm like, I'm gonna sit here and play a game and make myself feel better, And I played it for 4 hours, and then I ended up going. Well, no, I don't know. I think it was about 4 hours, and then I went to bed. And then I got up,
Two can play at
and
that
then I
game.
started playing it again, and I ended up beating the first, the story. So I beat the story. I'm on the next. I was like, "Where's my puppers at?" But I beat the storyline, so I'm on the next level of the dungeon progression, and there's really only one thing that I can complain about. I don't like the way the enchantments are laid out. But I think that's me just being picky.
Mhm.
I think you should, instead of having to go left to right, you should be given you could kind of go through them. And I want it laid out differently. I don't like having to go and have it take up the entire screen and happen to flip through because I can't tell if I'm on the first rune for the enchantment or the second rune. So it's I go to click one, it's well, wait a minute, where'd the other one go? Why can't it needs to show you're on rune 1 or space 1 for this, and you've got these 3 choices. And then when you go to the next slot, so when you click through them rapidly, you're looking through everything, you can't tell if you're on the second one or the first one. And I know there's a little in icon or little graphics oh, you select this icon, but when you're flipping through, you don't see that. So that's about the only complaint that I have with the game. Otherwise, I really like it. I think the storyline is very cute. I think it's just enough for a dungeon crawler, because when it gets too diverse in a huge story, I think it kind of takes away from the fun of the game, because it's just meant to be fun. And as it's been pointed out, it's a $20 game. It's meant to be fun and played, for fun. So I think the story is just enough fun, and I think that it could progress back to Minecraft. So if anybody wanted to actually kind of rebuild what was in, the Minecraft dungeons in Minecraft, it could be very easily done and very easily reproduced. So with the story I meant. So I don't know. I really like it. And I'm gonna play it some more after this.
Chadley, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, so I haven't picked it up yet. I've watched a couple people play it. I did have access to the closed beta. Someone was kind enough to give me a key, so I got to mess around with it a little bit before it came out. Which it was fun. My kids enjoyed it too. So, I mean, my kids are huge fans of Minecraft. I mean, we all have been playing Minecraft pretty much since beta was originally released back, what, probably 10 years ago or something like that. I don't know. Minecraft's been around forever, so and it's come such a long way. But I mean, the game looks fun. I mean, I am a huge fan of Diablo games. All three of the Diablo games I've played. So, and I've played other dungeon crawlers and stuff. I still feel that Diablo franchises has them all beat for the most part. But I mean, this one looks like it's a fun version of that type of genre. I wouldn't mind checking it out eventually. But if I do, I'll probably only enjoy it in multiplayer. Like Diablo, like I play with my wife all the time, and I don't know if I would enjoy Diablo's or Minecraft Dungeons as much just by myself. Like I probably would enjoy it more with at least one other person. So
Yeah, like Diablo, I had more fun playing with Louis than I did by myself. I thought it was really well done. I like Diablo. Diablo 3. Yeah. All right.
It's so easy, man. It's so easy.
Well, right now it's easy. Don't just wait. Speaking of Minecraft, so Minecraft with ray tracing, the beta was released, and people have been going nuts because they are loving what they are seeing, from the reflections to the lighting, and even people who are like, yo, my computer is like lagging down because of it. But they are saying the colors are gorgeous. Everything is gorgeous about it. Have you guys gotten a chance to test it out? Have you guys gotten a chance to even see it? And what are your thoughts on it? So we'll start with Mr. Corey.
Hey guys. So yeah, I did just recently build a brand new PC, and that PC included. Oh hey, we're getting a raid. By the way, it looks like
Every game.
maybe I don't know, maybe not.
I don't know.
don't
Is it raid?
Zombie Lord. Okay, so anyway, maybe it's not. Maybe he just come in by himself and announced. So, anyways, that new PC included an RTX, card. Hey, look, I'm just trying to be observant of our audience here. Shut up, leave me alone. So I did get an RTX card, so I was able to go ahead and jump into the beta of Minecraft with ray tracing and all, and I'm not really that impressed, but I'm not a lighting guy. Like, lighting and stuff just isn't really that super important for me. Like, I don't want a realistic game. I know that sounds weird because everyone's like, oh my god, this game looks super realistic and whatever. I want a video game. Like, okay, I don't want faces to be all like, weird and funky. That can be kind of but the lighting aspect and stuff doesn't really make that big of a deal to me. It doesn't make that much difference. So when I hopped in and I saw it, it's cool. I mean, it looks totally different. It's two different games essentially. When you could just swap off the RTX stuff, and it's like dull and then bright, and real life and then like super cartoon. I mean, it's a total night and day difference.
Okay.
And it's cool, I suppose. But again, like to me, it's like it's not impressive because I don't care about lighting that much. Not that it's not impressive because it's not technically impressive, because it is. It's a very technically impressive thing. It crippled my computer when I tried to record it. like I could play it just fine, just playing it, but because I know Chadley had warned me already. He's like, streaming it is basically a no-go because we have the same processor and everything, so he knew basically that I wouldn't be able to stream it. But I was like, well, maybe I'll be able to just record it. No, I would be it would be 60 frames per second, but then it would be like choppy and everything. So I was like, whatever. And that's also part of it, though. Like, if I need a computer, first of all, my computer is like $2,000. If I need a computer that costs more than that to play Minecraft with like ray tracing, that's crazy. Again, no offense to them or to anybody that does it or whatever, but like for me, it's just not impressive as a thing. I'm not like, oh my god, I have to do this.
You know what
tech impressive. It's great, and all, but
I think it's the whole thing where we know that Minecraft is this pixelated, cartoony, have fun feel game, and then to push it from that to realism. For some people, it is a turn off. For me, I was like, I want to see the good lighting. Curly, what about you, buddy?
I'm both with and against Corey on this thing. It's there's this like phenomenon called the uncanny valley, which is like when things get so close to reality, there's something that happens with human perception where it gives it kind of like an eeriness. I don't know if I'm explaining it completely what it is, but it's something similar to that where I don't necessarily have that effect, but I know what you mean. Like the closer that graphics get to being too real, it kind of loses the appeal. And I mean, there is something to be said about art style, which is I think what Minecraft nails and why I think it really works in this case. And I think it's an interesting game to showcase like super realistic lighting because the game is just blocks. It's just blocks. It's a fascinating game to show it on. I did see a couple of like the not screenshots, but like little clips. Like I said, again, Minecraft noob, but I did see it and it didn't really impress me that much. But then again, I wasn't that familiar with the original game. So now with that kind of fresh in my head, I kind of want to go back and look at it again. But I'm sort of kind of there with you on it.
For sure. Mama Remy, what about you?
I've seen it. I think it looks really pretty. I think that there's a lot of maps that have been like with like I know someone built like Hogwarts, and then like someone built like complete rundown of Stormwind from World of Warcraft, you know, and things like that. Like I'd really like to see like those big maps like redone in the ray tracing just to see what it looks like. But I don't think I would really want to play Minecraft with all that on, just for like what we said. It's too real, or it looks too real, or it's close to being too real, and it kind of creeps me out. I want my little pixelated block version. Now I don't mind where they're like quality of life improvements, like low-end shaders where it makes it look better. You know, maybe the water has like a little bit of reflection on it, or the sun
is amazing.
Yeah. So I don't mind stuff like that where it looks better, but there's still like that obvious difference between like cartoony and the realism that makes it creepy. But I still want to see certain things done in it, because then I can go, ooh, yeah, okay, I don't want to play this.
I think it works a lot better with environments like realistic lighting than on like the features. Like that's what starts creeping me out about the Uncanny Valley, is how realistic faces are starting to look, and it weirds me out a little bit. But when you like have this beautiful waterfall and stuff in games and stuff, it's like, man, that's what I want. But you can't really have one without the other. So
it's true. Sideline, what about you, buddy? What are your thoughts on Mr. Ray Tracing?
So I saw the demo and I could run the game, but bottom line for me is I want ray tracing in VR and I want regular Minecraft on desktop. That's what it boils down to for me. If I had, in a perfect world, because like if I'm in VR, I don't want to see what I see on the desktop in VR. For me, that would not be very enjoyable. I would rather see the ray tracing, the leaves blowing, the like Stephie was saying, see underwater. It would feel more real. But like if I'm just watching it on a screen, the resource cost of what it would take to run it, and like, I don't know, it's just not worth it for me. But in a VR, definitely.
Too. Those big maps already, as it is, it's hard to like run these maps in ray tracing. Think about when people make these maps that would have any kind of lag and stuff, as it is, like it would be crushed. That would be ridiculous.
For sure. Chadley, what are your thoughts on this ray tracing? Did I ask Chadley already? I don't remember.
No. Yeah, so I tried it too, obviously, because Corey mentioned it already, that I kind of gave him a heads up, and told Steph a little bit as well, because when she tried to stream it, we all were having the exact same problems. And I think and I also had an experience with ray tracing with Quake 2, because NVIDIA released an RTX update so that if you own the original game, you can install the RTX version, and it basically just uses all the game assets and they've made some other improvements to it too. So I don't know how much of a better experience it is now when it was when I tried it. The game ran fine for me. Quake 2 ran fine for me. Minecraft ran fine for me. But as soon as I would try to stream it or record it, and I think it's because of the limitation of my video card, where some of the resources are required for the ray tracing, and they take that power away from other things. So because it would look fine when I'm playing the game, but when I would look at my recorded footage, everything was like 15 frames a second, 10 frames a second. It was like all over the place. So, but I've also heard that the next generation of video cards, the ray tracing is going to be like leaps and bounds better than what's currently available, because this was kind of like their first attempt at it. So, right now it may not run very good, but the next generation of PCs and things, I think we'll see a lot more developers wanting to jump into ray tracing. And also, like Sideline said, they may even start trying to throw it into VR, especially with the fact that the video cards will just be that much better the next time around. But I mean, it looked great, like the ray tracing for Minecraft. But I kind of agree with everybody. Like, I don't know if I want to play Minecraft in that way all the time.
Yeah.
Like, maybe I could turn it on just to see what my environment looks like after creating something in Minecraft, because I'd be like, oh, I wonder what this looks like with all this cool features turned on. But then once I take a look at it and I was like, oh yeah, that was cool, and I'll just go back to playing Minecraft the way that I'm used to. I don't think I could stand playing it that way for a long extended period of time, just because I'm so used to how Minecraft looks.
Yeah.
I never even really got into the whole shaders for Minecraft, because the Java version has that whole other community where they've developed all these different add-ons for the Java version to make it look better, texture wise, and shaders to basically make it look like it has ray tracing and stuff, but just not as drastic, I guess.
Yeah.
And I never got into any of that. I always preferred just OG Minecraft. So
No, for sure. For sure. Yeah, lots of new technology coming out. I mean, we're moving to that point, but I think there's games that should have it, and then there's games that it's just not needed. Because if you're gonna go for that cartoony type feel, there's no reason to add realistic water.
Yeah.
But I mean, well, that's always how we always said it. Did you take a look at the water? That's graphics. Like, it's always been, look at the water.
The water and
It's
the hair.
In the hair, yeah. Oh my god, look at that fur. Well, I remember when Resident Evil 4 came out on the GameCube, and me and my brother were like, look at his fur on his jacket. Wow.
Oh, that's a GameCube game on the Switch.
There we go. That's a GameCube game on the Switch. That's right. Well, so Phantasy Star, the MMO that came out, it was on beta for a while. It's been released, and I've heard it's just a big mess from people waiting to try to get into a game to even when they finally get in, just laggy, which is not good for an MMO. I mean, if you played anything like Final Fantasy, World of Warcraft, Guild Wars, you need it to be perfect or you can't have fun. So let's go ahead and talk about that. Let's discuss that. If you have any of you even tried it or looked at it. So let's start with Corey for this one.
So I don't really know much about this topic here. No, sorry, I was totally not the one that forced Rigo to bring this up. So Phantasy Star Online 2 has been around for like the last 8 years, but in Japan and stuff. And then Microsoft localized it themselves, which is why it went to Xbox for beta, and then it finally it came to the PC the Windows Store recently as well. With that release of the Windows Store version of it, people are having just a slew of problems. Well, for one thing, everybody's trying to get in, so it's like super packed. So like once you get in, the lobbies are just super laggy. I couldn't manage my inventory without it just being like laggy, and you have to wait for the mouse to move. And it was, once you get out of the lobby and into the actual game, like into the instances and stuff, it's not bad because it's only you and your team and maybe a few other instances together, like a few other groups. So it's not bad. But that's kind of one thing. That's like one major-ish thing, but I think that's gonna get better as less people play and maybe as they open up more servers and stuff. But like the big deal that I've seen and heard a lot about is that the installer through the Windows Store, it installs the launcher, and then when the launcher loads up and it does the check for all the files like any MMO does, sometimes it's triggering, it's like having a false thing where it thinks that there's a corruption to the installer files, and so it'll re-download them or it'll back them up. And in either of these cases, it's not doing the proper thing where it's like removes the files and then replaces them. So you've got a backup from yesterday, and then you're installing it. It's re-downloading it, and then the next time it does it again, and it backs up again, and it backs up again every time you restart it. Some people are having this, and so it's like people are having like 400 gigs of backup files when the game is like 60 gigs or 70 gigs or something like that.
Holy.
Yeah, so it can be. It's not a huge problem. You can manually delete them if you need to, but like if you don't have a lot of space on your hard drive, it can just be a real nuisance, and it can be quite. It's been a lot of things like that have just really kind of muddled this launch of this game. Unfortunately, people are going to get the wrong idea. They're going to get the wrong impressions about it because it's a solid game that's been around for like I said, like 8 years, and it plays incredibly well once you're in the game and everything. But it's just been kind of a mess with the launch.
Dang. Girly, what are your thoughts on this launch, this game?
You lost me so hard. I don't know what. Okay, so Phantasy Star Online, isn't that the game on the GameCube with the controllers with the keyboard?
Yeah.
That okay. I played Phantasy Star 4 on the Sega Genesis.
Same universe.
I don't know, man. I'm sorry. I have no idea. I'm sorry.
It hasn't had an American following. I mean, it's got a huge American following, but nothing official until recently, right? Because it was only fan translated and everything. It never brought it to America until
Yeah,
a couple months.
Oh, for sure. Sideline, do you have anything to add?
I've never even heard of the game until Corey mentioned it. So I think I'll leave the time.
I feel less bad.
I'll leave the time over to
Don't
people
feel
who
bad.
know.
Yeah. Mama Remy.
I have actually heard of the game, even though I've never played it. But I know about launch day issues. I remember when Ion, which is made by NCSoft, it's a Korean style MMORPG. Because I played the beta for that, and I remember trying to get into that, and you had to wait hours because they had 12 servers, but still it wasn't enough, and it was supposed to be the World of Warcraft WoW killer, and then I remember even prior to that when World of Warcraft dropped Wrath of the Lich King, and there was queues of over 12,000. So you would sit there and hope that someone would just rage quit and just click off and be like, I ain't gonna sit through that, because then you drop like 50 people and you're like, yes, I'm getting closer. So and then all of a sudden if you disconnect or you timed out, you would have to go back in and you'd go back up the ladder. So I could about imagine, just because I've had that happen to me before too, so I could about imagine that if they're having all these problems on launch, that if people that's never played it and they're interested in playing it for the first time, then they're not going to want to play it, and maybe the numbers will drop. And because I remember Ion had 12 servers and then it dropped down to I think it was 6, and now it's 4, and then now it's 2. There's 2 servers for this game, and it's why?
The server dropped for this. Microsoft has put a whole bunch of money into this, and the game has existed, like I said, in an official capacity in Japan for years and years and years. But it is unfortunate that enough people are not gonna probably, like you said, are not gonna want to, be going through that. They're gonna be like, "Oh, this is a crappy, wacky, MMO. Why would I want to play this?"
Yeah, for sure.
Dang it! I'm sorry.
Chadley, what about you? Have you heard anything about?
Oh, I hope everybody had a great time at this stream, but it's time to end this. I don't know. I don't know much about the game either.
Okay.
But I mean, it sounds terrible. But
okay. Let's move on. So Assassin's Creed Valhalla was showed off, and actually they showed some gameplay and teased some new abilities and some new details of it. Now, actually, I got to see that. I got to take a look at it, and I'm actually really intrigued with the new graphics. I saw Odyssey. I saw when Corey was streaming that a while back. Remember when you were doing the beta for the streaming program?
For Stadia.
Yeah. So it looked really good, but this game, I mean, Assassin's Creed Viking style, I think that's pretty sexy. I don't know. It reminds me of that show Viking. So let's go ahead and start with that. Curly, have you heard anything about this? Have you heard anything about this game?
This isn't the one with the weird controllers. So, I think I've heard of Assassin's Creed. However,
I'm done. I'm leaving.
is this? Hang on. Was there another reveal post the Microsoft third party reveal? Is this what we're referring to, or is there something after that?
I'm not sure. Like, I just recently saw the gameplay details they showed, but I'm not sure if that's from the
'Cause-
Microsoft reveal.
During Microsoft's third party thing, they were touting all this gameplay for the game, and we didn't see any gameplay. Like, it was legitimately just like some camera cuts and stuff like that.
No,
So
this was
I
like,
still don't. So this is after that.
yeah, this is probably after that because there was legit gameplay.
Sorry. Yeah, I haven't watched that specifically, but I've never been an Assassin's Creed guy. But every iteration that they've done since Odyssey, I've been more intrigued. And I actually picked up, Origins, not Odyssey. I actually picked up Odyssey the other day because it was like $5 on the Epic Game Store. 'Cause
What?
They had like coupon codes. It was crazy. They gave you like $10 off, and it was like $15. It was ridiculous. It was actually
Okay, I
like
got
stupid cheap. But I ended up picking that up. I haven't started it yet, but the more I see of the game, the more I like. But again, I haven't seen the gameplay, but like the graphics and everything look fantastic on it. And I've like grown so much love and respect for Ubisoft as just a developer over the past like couple decades, because like especially recently they've just been hitting it, man. They've been getting that good stuff out, man.
No, and I
So I'm
agree. Like,
excited.
yeah, I totally agree with you. Sideline, have you heard or watched, or are you interested at all in the new Assassin's Creed?
I'm kind of concerned to say no because you're holding a knife. But
Nice.
I did see the trailer, but I'm not an Assassin's Creed player. I mean, like, it looks great if you like the game. I mean, I'm happy for the people that like it because it does look like, at least from the few cutscenes that I saw, it looked good, but not really much to contribute otherwise.
Yeah, for sure. Mama Remy, what about you?
I've never seen or I've never played Assassin's Creed myself, but I've watched people play it and I really like the series. The one thing that I think is funny is it's supposed to come out at around the end of the year, right? Which
Yeah,
means
think
school's
so.
gonna be in session.
Yeah.
Which means there's gonna be a lot of kids that walk up to their history, or teachers or professors and be like, "Will you please tell my parents that I can learn, genuine history by playing this game, so I can get it for Christmas?" So how many essays are gonna be written? Why I deserve to get Assassin's Creed Valhalla for Christmas? Because
Oh, jeez.
There was that really interesting thing they did with Origins where they made like a whole museum of the Egyptian culture or some. I didn't actually experience it myself, but like there was like a whole big historic element to that game. So I mean, maybe they'll do it for this one, but they get
All
more
of them are
fictional.
historic.
I mean, like they really dove deep into like a museum aspect of it
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
Origins.
No,
But,
for sure.
Like the further they get in the series, the more like fictional they get. Like it's more magic now. Like there's probably going to be, I don't know, Norse gods or something. Who knows at this point? So
that's still mythology. That's still
yeah, you're right. That is still educational for mythology.
Yeah,
That's
it's
right.
educational.
Yeah.
But maybe they were planning to do this all along.
Hey,
That's
I've
true.
seen How to Train Your
point.
Dragon. We're getting to some real stuff. Corey, what about you, buddy?
Just rip off a God of War, man. Who cares?
All right.
So I saw the trailer and I thought it looks really cool. I have enjoyed the Assassin's Creed games kind of less lately than I used to, and because I liked the more simplistic Assassin's Creed games, the first couple of them, like the first 3 or whatever, where it was just like, especially like the first one to me was great. Hey, there's a target, get to that target, but like kind of blend in, and so that you don't like look crazy and get killed. and you ride your horse over and you find that person, and then you kill them. And then now they're good games. I mean, they're definitely good games, but they're too complicated for me. Like, and I don't mean like I don't understand them too complicated, but there's just too much going on, right?
Yeah.
Like even Odyssey, like it's a great game, but there's so much. It's got like that whole Nemesis system going for it and things, and I don't really care for all that stuff.
Mhm.
So it doesn't make it a bad game, but it's just like there's so much going on that I'm like, if the next game is going to be just like that, then I don't know if I'm going to play it, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah. But it does look really cool. I'll definitely watch people play it.
For sure. Chadley, what about you? Have you experienced any of the Assassin's Creed games at all? Because I know they're on PC now, so I wasn't sure if maybe you picked one up at all.
I think I have, there's two of them that I have, because I have Black Flag, and then I have the other one that they gave out for free during that time when the can't think of the name of the one chapel that got burnt down, and they gave it out. They gave the one game out for free because it was based in that world and in that part of the country.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember which one it was.
Was that Unity? I don't.
Yeah.
I know what
Yeah,
you're talking about.
yeah. So I have those two. I haven't had a chance to play them yet, but I've watched you play it, Rigo, and a couple other people play it, and they seem like they're interesting games. I don't know if they'd be the type of games that I would really get into too much, especially like Corey said, if there's a lot going on with them. Like I like those types of games for the story and not really necessarily for the mechanics. I don't want to be overburdened with having to worry about all these different mechanics, and then with the way my memory is, like I totally forget about the story and not enjoy it because I don't know what's going on. So but the trailer looks awesome. I mean, with the fact that it's like in that Viking era, like I've always enjoyed watching movies and stuff in that type of era as well.
Yeah.
So as long as it has a decent story to it, I mean, I probably enjoy watching people play it.
For sure. All right, last thing to discuss, something very simple. It's more or less has to do with us as content creators, as streamers. So we have a lovely lady who goes by Skyrim Grandma. Now, a lot of people haven't heard of her. Some people have heard of her. She is this lovely lady. What was her name again? Her actual name?
Grandma.
Remy, you know it.
It's
Shirley, isn't
yeah, speak too quick. It's Shirley.
So
Shirley Curry.
Curry. Okay, so Shirley, I used to watch her on stream, and then I stopped because like I'm not a big fan of Skyrim, but she's really enjoyable to watch. And lately she's been having a little bit of life problems, high blood pressure. She's stressed out because sometimes as content creators we focus a lot on what people comment on our videos or what people say to us on our live streams, and that's been the issue here, where some people are like trying to teach her how to play the game, but she's been playing it for years, that she knows like the lore, the ins and outs, everything about that game. So question for you guys is, have you ever been so stressed out or so overwhelmed that you just have to take a step back and just be like, okay, I'm gonna stop streaming for a little bit or content creating for a little bit, catch my breath, and then just go at it again? So let's go ahead and start with Curly.
Oh man, up until the very end, I was like, yeah, I don't know if I can add anything to this. That got loaded real quick at the
I know,
end.
real
Oh,
quick.
Man. I feel like every day of my life, yes. I mean, I don't know if this is, fair to say about every streamer or anything, but from almost all the ones that I've met, I mean, I met several of you guys. Like we're all kind of we're an interesting species. We're an introverted extrovert. We like to keep to ourselves and all this, but we like to also entertain people or whatever. I don't know what's wrong with us, but we're kind
That's
of
a good
weird.
place to start.
Yeah. And again, it's not all encompassing. It's not all of us. We're not all the same, of course, obviously, but like,
Yeah.
a lot of what happens with me because I'm like that is like I do bottle up and I do I mean I try so hard, and I know everyone says like, oh, don't do it for the numbers and all this, but you can't help but
Yeah, you can't
obsess
help it.
over numbers, over comments, over all of that. You can't help but like compare yourself, and it's so easy to fall into that trap. And like I fell in it like early on in the streaming, and like you said, you have to just take a breath, and just like try and forget all that. Although like I said, it's impossible. It does come in waves and stuff, but like it's really just like a muscle you have to exercise. It's something that you have to learn to live with, learn to deal with. It's just a part of what we do, and how we handle that really dictates how we are as a content creator. Are we going to get angry about it, or are we going to, learn how to be better, take things that aren't doing well and improve upon it, or, look at success in a different way. Like, don't obsess over like, oh man, I don't have 50,000 views on this or whatever, but like look at like where you started with 0 and how now you have 100 or 1,000 or 10,000 or whatever, and just learn to accept that kind of stuff in small bits, and look at your successes around like, I mean, the community you have built here is incredible. I mean, no offense, I wouldn't say that you've made it big time, but you still had major success in what you're doing and everything, and you continue to build that every day. And I think it's more important to try and zone in on the small things rather than like the big picture, but don't forget about the big picture. It's obviously important. But
Yeah.
I mean, that's just how I personally had to accept everything, and it gets stressful every day. Like I said, I mean, it's stuff that we all want to ignore and want to forget about, but it's impossible. It's just built into the system of, like, at least me personally, how I am as a human and a creator.
Yo, no, for sure. Sideline, what about you? You're seeing that you're new to the streaming world, the content creating world. How does it make you feel? What do you feel about all this?
I saw the story come up on Twitter. Was it a week ago now, or so? Week and a half ago, maybe. That I first saw the story come out about like that she was feeling stressed. Like, I immediately felt bad. Like, as a content creator, I was like, that I've seen a lot of streamers go through that. For me personally, a lot of the things I do to negate that stressful feeling from happening is, one, I have good mods that I chat with almost every day, even when I'm not streaming. I have really strict rules on my stream, and some people don't like that, and they choose not to be part of the community. But like, if the policy is no backseat gaming, I just tell my mods, hey, if somebody's backseat gaming and you warn them and they do it again, you time them out. So like a lot of times that stress doesn't even come onto the periphery, because I don't like it, since it's not something that I tolerate. It's just like, it's barely there, and when it does show up, it gets removed. So that's kind of how I approach it. I mean, like, and in terms of feeling burned out or like needing to take some time, I think that like Curly was saying, that's really specific to each streamer, like how you feel. I think it's really important, just like any other job or hobby, to make sure you pace yourself and make sure that, like, if you're starting to feel under the gun, starting to feel stressed, working on that, like recognizing that early on and realizing that, and putting things in place to help relieve that stress, rather than letting it build up to a point where you would have to do something drastic. I think those are the steps, at least I personally have taken to kind of keep that stress low, and to keep the streams fun and entertaining, and not stressful, or and there have been days where I'm just like, I'm not in the mood to stream, or I'm just not feeling it, and you just take a day off.
No, for sure. Mama Remy, what about you, hon? What are your thoughts on this?
I'm actually blessed to have my real life in real life best friend as one of my mods on the channel. So like, I'll be in Discord like, guys, I want to do this, and I'll be like typing away like, this is such a good idea, da, 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 da. And then he comes in and he's like, Remy, balance. And I'm like, yeah, but I could do this on this and this. Remy, balance. I'm like, no, you can't. Fine. And I'll sit there and I'll pout for like 2 or 3 days. I was like, I don't really want to do this. Why can't anybody think that I can do this? I was like, I want to do this. And then I actually do something kind of similar or like along those lines, and then I realize, wow, they were right, because this is totally gonna go over my head, and I'm glad I didn't do this, because now it would just eat me alive, because it's too much. And so all of my mods are like that. If I want to do something, they're like, Mama, that might be too much, or it's like, Remy, okay, if you need to take a step back, take a step back and breathe. But I've never actually had to step back from streaming for any specific reasons, because it's either one thing or another in my life where like this happens and I went on a hiatus for this, or I got really sick and I had to take, you know, a 3-week hiatus for that.
Mhm.
And then I'm very, very openly honest with my community. I have like depression and social anxiety, so if that stuff gets to me, it's like, hey guys, this has really gotten to me today. I can't stream. And because I'm very open with them and honest with them about it, you know, they don't mind. They're just like, okay, Mama, we'll see you on, you know, Monday, or we'll see you on Friday, or we'll see you whenever, you know, just take it easy. And so I think having a community that is accepting of that and is, you know, understanding, and, you know, mods to protect you from, you know, as Sideline was saying, from a lot of the negativity. But also at the same time, you have to protect your mods, because while they protect you, you still have to protect them from, you know, all the toxic behavior that can be, you know, given to mods while they protect you. There's that balance, and even finding that balance can, you know, drive you crazy. So the fact that you can recognize when you need to step back is the first step. And when you actually do take a step back, it needs to be a true step back. Not like, oh, I'm not going to stream for, you know, a week, you know, because I don't, you know, feel like it. And then 2 days later, you're like, oh, guys, I'm going to stream again, because you can't do anything that you need to do in 2 days.
Yeah, no, for sure. What about you, Mr. Corey?
So, I'm pretty fortunate that my streams are basically dead these days. So, I don't have any comments or anything basically that hurt my feelings. I had one that kind of got to me today, actually. Somebody came to my stream and he was like, hey, I'm surprised nobody's here. Your chat's normally full. And I want to just be like, you don't have to point that out. I know that. I can see that it's not, that there's nobody here chatting. I know he didn't mean anything by it. Like, I know who this person is, and I know he didn't mean anything by it. But it's those little comments that do get to me. That I do try my best not to let them get to me, but it gets to me a little bit, because I'm already struggling with the fact that, like I said, like my streams are just, I don't know, nobody comes anymore. And that's really, it's fine. It's not me like whining and complaining, because it means that I don't have to worry about like trolls and any of this junk. When people come hang out, it's more like intimate, you know, I can get to know people and talk to people that come and hang out. But like little comments like that, I'm just like, those are the ones that really get to me. And I'm just like, stop. Get some help.
For sure.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah.
Chadley, what about you, buddy?
Yes, I mean, yeah, finding the balance is tough. Like, and like, I mean, I totally understand Skyrim grandma, like her age alone is like, you wouldn't think someone of that age would even be doing something like this, because we sometimes tend to make it look easy to everyone. And the amount of stress that some of us go through doing this, I mean, I'm not doing this full time, I'm only doing this as a hobby. And there's things that, you know, you learn things you should be doing to help grow your community and all these things, and it's like, I don't have time for a lot of that stuff. Like, I'm just doing this for fun. I'm just doing this to hang out with people, get to meet people that I would never meet in real life. Because that's how I meet all of you guys. Like, that's, I mean, this wouldn't be happening. I would not be part of this if I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing as a hobby. And but I mean, so yeah, like there's just a lot of stress involved, and we just do our best to try to alleviate that stress, whether it's balancing, like having it be a balancing act, obviously not doing it too much, you know. And I've struggled with that in the past, whereas like I have this really bad habit of just zoning in on something and focusing all my efforts in that. And I kind of like put blinders on. I don't mean to do it, but sometimes I put blinders on and like everything else kind of just gets pushed away, and I kind of have to get slapped or whatever you want to say, like I gotta get whipped into shape to like, hey, what about everybody else, you know, that kind of thing. So like everybody goes through that kind of stuff, and
Yeah.
so yeah, it's like the stress can get to you very easily. Again, like Corey said, with comments and things like that, and just like it's just all about how you deal with it, I guess. And if you don't have thick skin by the time you do it, as long as we've been doing it, then it's going to be a rough road for some people if they can't get that thick skin.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I've noticed, I know a lot of people who concern themselves about seeing their sub count or their follow count adjust from up and down. I mean, I think it was last week I had to erase a comment because like I know the YouTube side, it was gonna, when I switched over to Twitch, it was gonna take a hit. That's what happens. People unsubscribe because you're not doing what they were used to seeing, right? So it was like, so is your channel dead because like you went from, I think it was like 4,300 to 4,050 or something like that. And I was like, okay, well, no. I told him no. I'm still doing my thing. I just haven't had time to upload. And then he went on and started ranting on and such, so I had to delete a lot of his comments. But I mean, that was the thing, that when I was on YouTube, was I was always stressing about the like button. That like button, it drove me nuts. You know, it was always like, hit that like button, do it. You know, because if you don't, the videos aren't being pushed. And then not having to worry about that has become a good thing. I upload my videos and I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm not, I have to worry about getting on, oh, only 20 people liked it, but I had 200 views. What the heck, does nobody like it? But so I don't have to worry about that anymore. And that's, I've really grown to kind of like it like that. And again, for some people, they see their view count up and down, and it drives them nuts to see that subscription count go down. And they're like, what'd I do? Like, I started off with 100 people subscribing yesterday. Today, I'm back down to the same number or less. But I think it's just how it is, Hey, thank you, Waterflame. Super appreciate that 99 cents, buddy. It could be, everyone hashtag Waterflame in the chat. Show them some love. It could be very stressful, and the hate comments, I think what gets me more is the hate comments. I've always been very prone to that. Mainly the fat jokes or whatever. It's always been super, like, it always got to me. I haven't seen it in a long time. I haven't seen it at all for a while, to be honest. So I kind of learned to grow some thick skin. Oh, there it is. I grown to grow some thick skin about it, because it's just something you have to kind of not worry about. At the end of the day, it's just a comment, right? But for some people, it does get under the skin. Oh, another 199. Super appreciate that, buddy. Yo, all the love. But yeah, like, again, some people, they don't know how to handle that type of thing. And like, I did get a comment, someone made a comment that is someone who comes to my views a lot, and it made me feel bad, because like, I'm not one to be able to say that I'm good at games. I don't go around bragging to people, oh, I'm the best at this game or I'm the best at that game. But it's like, they came in and they're like, I'd give you one of my levels, but let's be real, you're not good at them. And it's like, ouch, It's like I know I'm not the best, but I'm not the worst either.
You can still give me your level and let me see how poorly designed it is.
You can still send me, and
There
they
you
did,
go.
and they're like, oh, I'm sorry, and
I
they
would
did
play
send
your
me
level, but I know you're just not good at making them,
Yeah, so it's like, in the end, he did send me his, always like, I'm sorry, and he sent the level, and then I beat it. So
Hey!
right, that was my thing. I was like, yeah, I may not, like, I do take my time with a lot of levels. I'll play them for a while. I mean, I'm not the best at the Kaizo stuff, and I know that, but in the end, that's my way of kind of throwing it in your face, like, I beat your level.
Yeah.
But things like that, sometimes they will get to you. It does from time to time get to me, but I learned very quickly to kind of, take a step back, relax. I'll message maybe someone, be like, this really bugged me today, and then they kind of help bring my level up. Or I'll say, so and so hasn't come to my stream in forever, and I don't know why, and I don't want to ask them. And then if I do ask them, the response I get isn't maybe what I want to hear, and it's like, wow, like, that's jerky. So you know, I know the feeling. So for Skyrim grandma, I mean, the fact that she lasted this long without caring in the world, and now just kind of like she's taking a break from it, I totally understand it. At one point or another, it will get to you, and you just have to learn to kind of step back and breathe and realize, okay, you know, maybe I am pushing too much for this, and just go from there. Some people do take it, you know, and like I tell people when they start doing this, you should, because the first thing, a lot of mistakes a lot of new streamers or content creators do is the first thing is, well, now I'm a streamer and I'm gonna do full time, I'm gonna get lots of views. Like, maybe you'll get lots of views at the beginning because maybe you know a big group and everybody's like, yeah, you're streaming, but that dies down very quickly. It's just about, now you have to create your own community. You're creating your own world. Don't expect everybody to run over to you because they know you, because a lot of people disheartening to see maybe they have 2-3 views instead of that 20-30 they had at the beginning or whatever, right? And like I said, it happened to me. Like when I was on YouTube at the beginning, when I first started off, I was at 1,000 subscribers. I had literally 60 to 70 people watching me at a time. Then we got an update on thing, and then it just dropped from that 70 to 60 to 20 people watching me at a time, and it's always stayed at that 20. And then when I moved over, it's always stayed at the between 15 and 10. And it's like, okay, but because it was a new platform, it didn't matter to me, that view. But then on YouTube, that was a big hit because I had gone from 1 subscriber all the way up to 1,000, you know, from 70 people watching me dropping down to 20. And it's like, wow, what happened? And then those likes were bugging me because I went down from getting 150 likes to dropping down to 20 to 30 likes, you know. But then, like I said, you learn very quickly that it don't focus on the numbers, you know, because they're just numbers. Or the numbers don't necessarily, you know, will always be there. You just have to kind of forget them. Whereas now my videos, like for example, I made a review on the laptop that I picked up. Thing has 5,000 views. You know, I've never hit 5,000 views on a video before, and it's, well, crazy. I lied. On the older videos I have, but that was like because over time they reached that. But to reach that before a year, I feel good about that. Or Curly, you have that one song, right, that has 10,000 views, and it's like, holy crap.
On it, like the past couple months, it's picked up like 3,000 views, and it's nice to see that. But like, it's kind of like what I was saying earlier, is you just have to learn to live with the numbers, not really ignore them or obsess about them. You have to learn to live with them because, I mean,
100% agreed.
Plain and simple, you're gonna, you know, bomb on some, and some of them, like, you might strike gold. Like, and I'm not gonna say that video is necessarily better than any of my other ones. That, like, that's why you can't obsess about the numbers, because it's not necessarily equal to the content that you're making. It's just
exactly.
I mean, people honestly, like you said, like, you see numbers dip and rise, people come and go, and I mean, that's the business of content creation. I mean, some people going through some stuff might want to just blow some steam off for a while, meet you, and they attach to you, but then once they, you know, fill that hole in, they might move on. That's okay. That's perfectly fine. I mean, I still take that as a success. Again, you made a relationship with this person. Maybe you helped them through something. Maybe they helped you through something too. I mean, and that's what I'm saying. It's like that person is more than a number. And these people in the chats with their hateful comments, we're more than just a creator. We're actual people, you know?
Exactly.
And that's how we have to look at our numbers too. You know, those are real people out there. You know, be thankful for every view you get. Be thankful for every like you get. All that. I mean, like I said, you got a great community here. I mean, regardless of the numbers going up and down, they always show up. I mean, not
exactly
everyone always, but you always have these core people, and that's what's important. And I mean, that's a win. Like, plain and simple. Like, no matter what happens from this point on, you did that, and that's, you know, that's how I get through it anyway. And
no, exactly, it's exactly how it is.
A lot of you guys pointed out, like, it's really important to find a good support group, like a good mod group. And I mean, what we have literally here, this is a support group. Like, that's very helpful and healthy for us. I mean, we're all going through the same motions. We're all going through the same things.
No, and that's the thing, right? Like, you just gotta find, and I mean, it doesn't, like, okay, Sideline never comes to my streams. God, no. Like, okay, let's do. I'm gonna use Sideline for example, right? So it's like, he'll come and he'll say hi. I know he's working, but there are some people who, let's say Sideline says hi, disappears. It's like, where'd you go? And now you're not answering. It's like, oh, so you just left. Okay, I see how it is. And they're gonna call you out
I
on
do that
it.
with Rigo all the
You know,
time.
oh, where'd you go? Why'd you leave? And it's like, and that's the problem I'm having right now with myself. Work has gotten so busy. I can go in and say, hey, Mama Remy, or I'll go in and say, hey, Chadley. But that's all I can say, because at that moment they'll say hi. They'll ask me if I'm working. I say yes, and then I gotta go back to work. You know, or people are streaming on the time, and that's how it is. And that's why I tell people, don't take it offensive. If I ask you a question and you're not answering, I'm not gonna take it offensive. I'm like, okay, you're at work, whatever. But if I do the same thing, don't take it personally, because I am at work. You know, especially because I work night shift. Like Curly, I jumped into your stream a couple weeks ago. I said hi, but then I had to leave again. It's everybody streams late, and I try to jump in, and I haven't been to everybody's stream. But it's the whole thing of, you shouldn't take it personally. And unfortunately, some people, I know a lot of streamers who take it personally, that you don't go into their streams, they get mad. But
that's crazy to me.
Yeah,
like, I appreciate if you come in and say, hey, that's freaking awesome. Excuse my language. That's freaking awesome, man.
Yeah, no, and exactly. It's
come
like,
and say hi and leave. That's fine. I mean, it's still, you clicked on my thing to come in and literally say hello to me. It's like, all right. I mean, if it's like the same thing, it's the same thing as going to work and you're passing through somebody in the hallway. That's what we're doing, dude. I mean, we're all trying to be out here, do our thing, but we have lives. I mean, I don't know how old Sideline is. He looks kind of young, but we're all adults. like we all have these, we all have responsibilities.
Sorry, not to call you out that you're only 12.
Don't let
promise, okay?
Don't let the clean shaved baby face fool you.
But it's man, if you take the time to come out and say hello to me, I appreciate it. Regardless,
Exactly.
I mean, I know everybody's got stuff going on.
Now,
all the viewers out there, it's got stuff going on, man.
I mean, in this case, like with Grandma, she was being attacked constantly on her streams because she is an older woman. And the fact that, like, I've seen some of them are like, well, you're an old woman, what do you know about Skyrim? Things like that. People will purposely go and attack, you know, whether it's gender attacking, or whether it's the fact that you're older, or whether it's the fact that you don't know something about a game. I don't know, they find pleasure in those hate comments, or those comments. They want to get that and that's why I tell people, don't give them that satisfaction of reacting to it. And the moment you react to it, they know they have you. And for the rest of your life, or in this case in streams, they will keep attacking you, because they know this person's easy to attack, this person's easy to get a little nudge out of, because that's all they want to see.
How old is she?
Grandma? Oh, I'm not sure. I think she's in her 80s.
She's like your 80s, 90s.
She's in her late 80s, I think.
If you think about it, though, the gaming industry like really took a big boost in the 70s
82.
and even like 60s. Okay, we're getting to a point now where she could have been in the gaming industry her whole life and no one would know it.
Right.
And she's a big fan of Skyrim, but if she was in the industry her whole life and never really advertised it or whatever, I don't know if that's the case, but I'm just giving her as an example, saying that, like, we're all getting to that age now where we've been playing games since we were kids. I'm one of the older ones of the community, I feel, that streams anyway. And like, yeah, like in 10 years, I'll be 50 years old. If I'm still playing games and I'm still streaming, I'm getting to that age where it's like, yeah, I'm going to start seeing people coming to my streams that are teenagers or in their 20s who have problems with people that are older still playing video games and throwing those hate comments out, you know, like that. Like, I get every once in a while, I get them now, like, oh, you're really old, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, so I'm playing video games. I'm having a good time. I don't care what my age.
Isn't that what you want to be when you're his age? Like, what is wrong with
That's a really good point there, Curly. Like, I want to be able to say that I'm 82 playing something like, and Skyrim's not an easy game or simple game. So that just means she's got enough cognitive power still in her brain to be playing that, you know? Like, that's pretty crazy. So
exactly.
Go her.
Yeah. I mean, one of the cool things, she's now going to be an NPC in Elder Scrolls 6, so that's pretty sweet. You know,
What?
so
That's cool.
Dope.
yeah, so she's an
Didn't they do that
NPC.
same thing with Robin?
Animal Crossing.
Yeah, Robin Williams in what was it? WoW or
Yeah,
I know.
they've done a lot lately.
I don't know. He's
Oh,
he's been an
Zelda,
NPC. Well,
I
he's
know.
been an NPC in a bunch of games. There's even that rumor that one of the characters in Breath of the Wild was based off of him
that's
too.
right.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So
because he was a huge Zelda fan and he even named his daughter
his
Zelda.
daughter.
So
Yep.
yeah.
all right, so let's quickly crunch out these last questions that we got asked from viewers. So the first one is, what do you think that the Xbox Series X is better or stronger than PS5? So I'm gonna answer my question is I think they're both kind of equal. At this point, I think it's gonna depend on the gaming. Curly, what do you think?
I'm interested to see. I know like specs wise, but this hard drive stuff has got me interested. But I mean, I don't know. I personally not an Xbox guy, but I think Game Pass is really where their livelihood is at right now. I think it's very special, and I think they're changing the industry going forward with that. But as far as like the games go, I just prefer Sony first party titles.
For sure. Corey, what about you, buddy?
Kind of with Curly, like, I mean, the specs don't honestly mean that much to the end user. I mean, people can pretend like they do. People can go, oh yeah, it flops and whatever. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, the game that performs better and the game that, the franchise that already has your heart or whatever, like that's what's gonna win it over. So if you're a big Halo person, you're gonna go for the Xbox. If you're a big Uncharted or Last of Us fan or something, like you're gonna gravitate towards that. So I don't think any of them, specs wise, doesn't matter. I don't think either of them is going to be much better than the other. Like I think it's just going to come down to personal preference. They're both pretty decent market shares these days. Even Xbox is still like okay. So I think it's just, I don't know. I don't think there's either one's like that much better than the other when you consider all the factors.
Yeah. Sideline, what about you, buddy? What are your thoughts?
I compared the specs like when they were both first announced, and like I've been following the specs for both of them, and I think powerhouse wise they're fairly equal. I think it's going to come down to, like everybody else has been saying, games, fan loyalty. I think is going to play a huge part, and like if you're an Xbox fan, you're going to buy the Xbox. If you're a PlayStation fan, you're going to buy the PlayStation. I mean, I think that's pretty clear. And I think for me, what I'll be interested to see is like LTS or long-term support for both consoles. I think that's going to play a huge role as well. And obviously the elephant in the room is price factor. If the Xbox is $200 cheaper than the PlayStation, and the specs are pretty much the same, I think people are going to gravitate more towards the Xbox. I think they might even win over some PlayStation fans if there's a huge price difference between one or the other.
For sure. Mama Remy, what are your thoughts?
I agree with everybody. I think it's just going to boil down to like what game and the price ultimately.
For sure. And Chadley, what are your thoughts?
Same, pretty much same thing. Yeah, I mean, because you got your Sony fanboys, you got your Xbox, Microsoft fanboys. We even have the Nintendo fanboys and stuff like that. Even though Nintendo is more of a secondary console, I guess you could say. It's never, and Nintendo is fine with that. They don't care about being a secondary console because that just means what?
So I knew we'd be back to Nintendo.
Yeah. Hey, at least it wasn't 15 minutes. So
True.
But yeah, I think it's going to come down to the games. If people already like, there's some games that people already are excited about that are going to be on the Xbox X, like the Series X only, or whatever the Xbox is that comes out. Because the Series X isn't that's like their high end one, right?
Yeah.
So they're going to have other models that come out that aren't as high end, which again could sway people from getting that PS5 too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's just going to be the games, especially since the specs are going to be so close together. Nobody, like at this point, if they know the games are going to be gorgeous anyway, like I think they're just going to be like, I want to play that game, but I know I have to get a PlayStation 5, or like I want to play that game, but I know it's on the Series X or whatever. That's going to be their determining factor. Price is secondary. Like you're already spending a ton of money on a console anyway.
Exactly.
So it's like, there's like, if I'm going to, the games have to be what I want. for me to buy that console. So
For sure. Last question is from Stephie, and she says, "What are your guys' thoughts on all the major titles that Epic Game have been giving out for free this week?" So, if you guys remember, Epic Games dropped a big one and gave for free GTA 5 plus like $1 million online type thing. Yeah, Civilization, just a bunch of stuff. So, I think that they're doing it right. This is more like sticking it to Steam in a way, because we don't get a lot of free games, and Epic Games like, hey, look guys, free games, especially in this time that we're all stuck at home, or we're slowly getting back to, I guess, our new norm, we can call it, but we're still stuck at home, some of us, and this is a good way to get people to hey, look, here's some new stuff. Corey, what are your thoughts?
I mean, I think it's cool. The issue for me, and it's not a bad thing per se, but like, okay, so GTA 5, for example, great game, been out for like 15 freaking years. No, not really, but it's been around for a while.
Yeah.
Great game, but I own it on PlayStation. Like, I purchased it on PlayStation 3 and 4. I own it on Xbox through Game Pass, and I own it because they gave it to me for free on Epic Games. I can almost guarantee you that I'm never planning to actually download it and play it on PC, just because my friends play it on PlayStation or Xbox. A lot of the games that they have offered are games I don't have intention to play, but I'm going to grab for my backlog. It doesn't do anything to me. It doesn't change my loyalty by any means. I am a Steam person for many years. That doesn't mean I won't grab anything off of Epic, but like, I'm still a Steam person. I will always prefer Steam over Epic if I can. Because Steam is the one-stop shop for the most part, so that's just kind of like why they have me won over. But it's still really cool. Like, I think it's awesome. I think it's great that they're doing it, but it doesn't like change my loyalty, I guess.
Yeah, no, for sure. Mama Remy, what are your thoughts?
10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So I was trying to like count how many games in Epic I actually have. So I have 16 rows of 6. Someone do quick math for me, because I can't think right now. I'm too tired. Yeah, that's a lot. I actually have more games in Epic than I do Steam, but only because like I'm like one of those people who's like, oh, it's a free game, I'm gonna get it. Like, I'll probably never play it, but I still want it in my account. I prefer Steam over Epic, because I will actually buy games from Steam. I won't buy games from Epic. Epic will never get my, money information ever. But it's like, I'll go there and I'll download the free games and I'll play them because they're free, and that's about it. So, there's been some games that's like, oh, what is this game? This game, no. And then like maybe 2 months later or something, I'll go back and like, oh, well, you know what? I want to take a look at this. I was like, I there's just something about this I want to just double check. And then I ended up playing it and I actually really liked it. So it's like, okay, I can see this being a thing here.
No, for sure. Sideline, what are your thoughts?
I think, like, I didn't really have anything to do with Epic Games. I didn't really know what they were, except for like the people who made Fortnite. Until I saw the free games, which shout out to Nadina. I don't know if she's in the chat for pointing me in that direction. But that and Unreal Engine. So for me, from like, I've done some stuff with marketing recently, and so for me, this just looks like a giant marketing strategy from Epic Games to like get their name out there. That's what it seems like to me. But yeah, I'm right there. I'll download all the free games just because I might come back in a year and be bored and be like, oh hey, I grabbed that when it was free, and have a chance to play it. So like, I have Steam and Epic Games. I'm not really sold on one or the other. Just whichever place is cheaper.
Curly, what about you, buddy?
As a person that is extremely new to like PC gaming entirely, I've bounced back and forth between Steam and Epic, and I can't wrap my head around Steam to save my life. So I mean, I legitimately don't get the interface. There's too much going on. The auto login stuff confuses me. I don't know. I don't like Steam personally. And what Epic has been doing as far as the gaming, like as far as pushing the industry and actually giving Steam some competition, which I think is very important for these giant companies. That's why I love the rivalry between Sony and Microsoft, because if Microsoft didn't get their butts kicked so hard this generation, we wouldn't be getting Game Pass, and we wouldn't be, hyped for Series X. I mean, the competition is good, and the free games, as far as that goes, it's amazing, because I haven't had Grand Theft Auto since the PS3. That's just me. I know a lot of people bought it a billion times, but I got my kicks off on the PS3, and I'm excited to check out what was new on the newer versions that were brought to the consoles now on the PC and all of that. And I mean, I've had some of the most fun playing these goofy games with my daughter that are just free from Epic's game store, like the Everything game. There's this indie called Minute that was incredible, that was free. Inside was free. Dude, Celeste is my favorite game of all time. That game was free on Epic Game Store. It's just like, I get that, yeah, it is a marketing push, but it's actually introducing a lot of these smaller titles to people that might have passed them up. Like, I mean, I never would have played Minute, and there's this one goofy one I can't remember the name of, but like, I've played so many like indies just from their store, and it, like I said, the interface, it's easier for me as a console gamer to wrap my head around. I don't really know why that is. I don't know if it's the larger pictures, or because like I'm a caveman when it comes to PC. I don't understand them. I just don't get them. But I'm for it, man. I love it.
For sure. Chadley, what about you, buddy?
I don't even remember what the question was now. Sorry. Told you my memory was bad. What was the question? I'm sorry.
The question was, what are our thoughts about Epic Games giving us free games lately?
Oh, well, I've been getting the free games like ever since they started doing it.
Mhm.
And this isn't the first time they've done like a huge wave of like tier, like AAA titles and stuff. Like last year around this time, they did the same type of mega sale that they're doing, where they would release like a bunch of top tier games for like the whole month, and then after that they went back to their normal strategy of just mixing free indie games with some AAA games, because like that's how I got like, because a lot of the AAA games they release, like I think it was you or Corey mentioned that they're older games, like GTA is like really old. Some of the other games that I was able to get for free was like the whole Batman Arkham series.
Yep.
The three main games in the Batman Arkham series. But when they did those three games, they also gave me like 3 of the Lego Batman games at the same time. So like they did that was like 1 week where you could just get 6 free games in 1 week. And
really good.
So
game.
yeah,
really good.
But yeah, I mean, but they're good games. And like here, I forgot that I had another Assassin's Creed. I have Assassin's Creed Syndicate. And I got that for free from Epic as well. So like, there's a ton of games in my backlog now that maybe I'll never get to them, but like, they're games that always intrigued me, and I'm like, if I can get it for free, I'm going to get it for free. You know, you're never going to see them do the new games for free. That's just not, and no one is going to do that. We've had that happen very rarely with games in the past with other companies and stuff, but still, like, I'm not going to complain about it. I mean, they're free games to me, and I don't mind playing games on PC because usually they look the best on PC. So
for sure. All right, guys. Well, we figured out. So, guys, I wanted to put. We were talking about this whole thing about, you know, streaming and whatnot. So one thing is, if someone recommends someone to us to raid, don't turn around and go to that person and tell them, hey, something's coming, because then that raid doesn't become something special anymore. The point of a raid is to give the person a surprise and not to expect it, because that reaction we get from them is what we enjoy seeing from them. So when we go to raid someone, we should be able to feel that, oh my god, wow, or look at all this people. No, like, that's what we should be seeing. So let's try to keep it like, if you recommend someone to us, let's keep it like a big secret, so then that way doesn't ruin the surprise, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's all for today, guys. I really appreciate it. Mama Remy, thank you for joining us again. We missed you so much. Sideline, thank you for taking the time to come out and be like joining us and telling us that you're not into PlayStation. Like, I mean, I'm broken.
You're welcome. But
Curly,
thanks for having me on.
Of course, man, always.
Yeah,
and
thanks for
Curly,
being
thank
here.
you
Yep.
for being here as well. This is the first time you're on TacoCast with us, right?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Sorry, I missed the transition from sideline to me. Yeah, it is. It is. Definitely.
So
And,
thank you.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, I was happy to get invited, man. Thank you guys so much for having me.
So thank you, Corey and Chadley. Thank you again
My
for
pleasure.
taking the
Yep.
time from
Yep.
your crazy
Always
schedule to
fun.
join us. All right, we're gonna go on a raid, and we're gonna raid this lovely person, and she's doing a marathon. Looks like she's trying to get to 1K, so maybe we can get her to that 1K.
I
We're
think
gonna
she's
use
pretty close, actually.
She's pretty close, right? So we're gonna use
like
hashtag.
super close.
Let me see. Hashtag
Like,
Taco
4 away.
Cast raid is what we're gonna be using. So let's go ahead and go on this raid. Let me pop her up, and let's do it. Hashtag Taco Cast raid is what we're gonna be using. And let's.
Thanks so much for hanging out with us, guys.
Thank you guys. Super appreciate it. Here comes. Let's do it. Let's surprise her. I think she's gonna be very happy. I want to hear what she says.
I still see 4.
I want to see what they say.
Yeah, I told you, every single person is gonna start having a panic attack. Because,
Thank you.
Yeah, that's what I see. She's got 4 left.
Well, hit that sub button, guys.
I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not,
Ooh, I haven't
guys.
subbed.
I just hit
Oh,
sub.
I'm
snap.
not gonna be as panicky as anybody else.
My heart is hurt.
The
Look at that
reason why I'm not
strong
gonna be
raid, guys.
panicking is
Thank you
because
so
That's a
much.
I'm
strong
here to
raid.
calm you down,
Mhm.
so I
Thank
can't
you, everybody.
freak out.
That's the best raid
play
right
that
there.
song
When
that
it is a
goes,
surprise
"The
and it's
celebration
just
time, come
bam
on,"
right there.
when we
That's
Yeah.
good.
Oh, did she actually hit 1K? That's
celebration.
Yeah,
pretty
oh,
good.
yeah.
Yes. Well,
Oh,
she was
what's
at
what's
We're
she was
getting
at
a raid.
freaking 996 when we jumped in, and then I subbed and
Yeah.
other people subbed.
Blue in the
So
gang, I think.
Hello, Charlie.
Hey, she did hit it. Thanks, guys.
TacoCast.
Welcome, Raiders. Welcome,
That's awesome.
everyone.
Welcome, Raiders.
I can't. Rosie girls.
I think we're gonna get there. I think we're gonna get there.
Oh my
Rainbow, I think we're gonna get there.
That's the reaction I like.
that's what I like bringing to people right there.
Yeah.
We hit 1K.
That's awesome.
That is fantastic.
You pushed us there. Who was the leader? Oh,
Who was the leader? Whoever did that, they deserve all of the love.
thank you.
Look at me, raid. I love it.
I have to put it me right.
Thank you. Okay, I need to just like turn off my game or something. Like I just need to pause it.
I love when they get so
Or I'll just,
excited
like,
they can't even
no,
play the
I'm
game
just-
anymore.
Right.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
fine, it's fine. Just
Wait, that's how I play Rainbow Road. What are you talking about?
I'm so sorry. Welcome. I hope everyone is having an amazing
all right. Let's see what we got here.
Mama Rainbow,
Someone put in
welcome
the
to
someone put in the
stream.
thing.
Were you the leader? Who is welcome
One
Mhm.
to the stream. Congrats. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. GG on 1K. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. OMG, someone help. DJ Raven, the leader
131
is
likes.
Spanish.
We have 131 likes, and we have 1,000
Can
subs.
someone get his link in the chat, please, so I can subscribe to this
Someone
amazing
put
unicorn?
That was great. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you all for joining us. I super appreciate it. Thank you guys
Thanks,
again from
guys.
your busy schedule. Make sure you guys check out the description below for everybody's link. Go sub to them. Go give them some love. Believe me, you'll love them all just as much as
Hey,
I
what's the
do.
most important part?
And don't forget
don't
the
we
most
forget?
don't forget the most important part in the whole world, guys. Come to my live stream. I'm super famous. Take care. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Later.
So good.
That was great.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not him.